Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Mute here. Today we are doing another specific build for someone. Someone asked for an Oracle build using the Life Mystery. Wanted someone to build them this along with an Angel Mythic Path. Hold on one second here while I set my timer so I can keep this video to under 5 years. Where you at? Where you at? Get back here. Come on. You know you got it. There it is. Wait for it. Wait for it. Stopwatch. Okay, there we go. This character did not start out as a life mystery character. This one's going to actually start out as a battle mystery character, which is why you see I have skillet arms, which is going to give me a variety of things. I get not only martial weapon proficiency, something that the oracles don't normally have. They also get heavy armor proficiency, again, something they don't normally have. So this character is a strength-based ASMR, Angelkin specific. That's a +2 to strength and a +2 to charisma. We start off with a strength of 18, dex of 12, con of 12, intelligence of 12, lowered our wisdom to 7, which may be counterintuitive, but I'm okay with that. And we brought our charisma up to a solid 19 at level 1. From there, every level up, we're going to put 5 points total into charisma. So we're going to have a final build where the charisma is going to be at 24. This is when we get more spells a day, that our spells are more likely to land, so DC checks are going to be like maxed out, so to speak, on a variety of our spells. On that, we're even going to go spell focus and greater spell focus, and I decided since you're going to be a healer type anyway, and we have a lot of spells that are summoning spells as well, conjuration made a lot of sense here. So we're going to do spell focus and greater spell focus conjuration. We're also going to do augmented summoning as well as superior summoning at the very end of the build. That's, maybe a little late. That's when you're really getting the best summons anyway. And again, that should enhance, at least for some of those, the upgrades for our summons that we get for their angel spellbook that we're going to have. Now, why are we starting with a battle mystery? Because one of the things we can get from our mythic path will be a second mystery. That allows us to become a life mystery guy as well, or gal, as you may prefer. That's going to be something you're going to want to grab as soon as possible. So the first mythic rank you unlock as a mythic hero, which is what you'll be categorized as, you're going to unlock the second mystery for life. This is going to be as soon as possible for a couple of reasons. One, you see these cool abilities here, these are revelations. Not only do we get one here, but we also get them at 3, at 7, at 11, at 15, and 19. And while in some builds, upgrades of this nature usually mean when you have a second bloodline, for example, if you're like a draconic bloodline and an abyssal bloodline, you get both upgrades. In this build, because it's a mystery, or a revelation, excuse me, you only get to pick between the mysteries, which means that if we wanted to limit the battle mysteries, again, there's only a few that I actually give a rat's ass about. That means we can save the other 3, for example, for the life mysteries. A way to buff your healing and channel positive energy to heal AoE style as a cleric would. Again, something that'll make you feel really, really powerful in my mind. Also, because we're having a merge spellbook, now that means we're going to finish with a spellcaster level of 30. That's awesome. It's not going to be as good as you think. But we also need to be real specific on the type of spells that you pick. Remember, you're like a sorcerer from the clerical standpoint of things, where you literally have spontaneous casting. The spells you pick are the spells you're married to. You're going to get them once, and that's it. You don't get to spec out of them, at least not without a lot of effort. So I'm going to drive you specifically in a specific, a not perfect direction, a direction that I think would be the best for this type of build. Someone that's going to melee or heavy armor, has a nice weapon. In this case, we're going to go Bardiche. You could have just as easily gone Glaive, Long Spear. They're all solid choices. I just like the Bardiche because it has a slightly better crit range. The Long Spear and the Glaive, on the other hand, which are the weapons that it looks like he's using, instead of having a 19 to 20 for the crit range, they crit on a nat 20, but they do 3 times the crit damage. So everyone's going to be slightly different on that. Because all those weapons are reach weapons, we're going to make the cleaving finish build. I could have just as easily foregone all the spell focus conjurations and the augmented summoning upgrades, and gone for something like a Cornigan Smash build combined. You've seen that before. Feel free to swap those out. I can't tell you the correct order of doing that stuff, but know that we're starting off with power attack at level 1. And again, because we are a specific type of ASMR and Angelkin, we'll get 1 spell use a day of Lesser Restoration for free, something that will actually benefit you at least a little bit until you actually unlock it for yourself. We will actually get it for free on that. When you pick your different mysteries, again, Battle Mystery is my choice, doesn't mean it has to be yours. Same with Life Mystery. You will get not only these free revelations, you will also get free spells. You need to write that down. So look at the list, write it down. I have. and go through that list and say, oh, this is why I want this one. This will be the buff I get at this higher level. This will be, something that benefits me later in the build. Another possible way of taking this was, instead of battle life, I could have gone life as a start, and gone, instead of battle for the secondary mystery, I could have gone earth. I want to say was a choice. Earth mystery gives you a lot of acid spells, and gives you like a bonus to, at a certain higher level, you get a bonus to like immunity to acid. You also get a bonus as you level up that's like an empowered version of all your acid spells, so it's like automatic, 50% more damage. And if I would have gone that route, instead of being the Asimir that we went with, we could have been Oriad. And there's a strength charisma Oriad in the game. I think there's a penalty to wisdom for those guys, but it's, again, no big deal for us. It's kind of where we're at anyway. And that could have been an interesting thing for you as well. So again, kind of on you on that one. But there could be some serious fun to have there, because again, they get a bonus to all the DC checks of all their acid spells. A lot of their acid spells, again, don't have spell resistance. Not that it matters for you. You're going to be a caster level 30 by the end of the build, but it's not the point. It's still nice to have that fallback where I don't have to worry about spell resistance checks. So again, there's a million ways to like make this kind of a character. Let's just put it that way. For your deity, I went with Iomedae, because again, light. Again, light of the sword. We're going to get the angel, sort of light and all that fun shit, and all kinds of stuff that thematically made sense for that. Again, there's no real reason to pick one deity over another, other than alignment. And we wanted to be lawful good because there's some spells that you have where good is important and lawful good is more important. So I said, fuck it, let's just be that lawful good character you always wanted to be. So now let's level this character up. Now I've already given myself enough XP to become level 20 in all the 10 mythic ranks that we could have been to be an angel. So we'll just level up in a way that makes sense to me. Note before we start, though, spell picks. We specifically picked cure spells as our free spell list, which means that if you want inflict spells, you have to pick them. We're not going to do that. We could have flip-flopped that and become a damaging son of a bitch, where we got the inflict spells for free, and then if you wanted the cure spells, you could have picked them. Again, there's been plenty of reasons I've wanted to do that in Oracle builds in the past. The ability to heal and harm, with spontaneous casting is extremely powerful. And again, you're a strength-based character, those are touch attacks most likely. And as such, the chance of you walking around, boop, doing damage to somebody and doing a decent amount of damage is pretty much there. It's some fun you could have. I decided not to go that route. Know that we're going to stick to being a healer type that can just like buff up and whether it's ourselves or our team, and just straight up do damage. On that, at level 1, we picked Shield of Faith and Bless for our 2 free spells. Again, Cure Light Wound was given to us. Also, you need to point out that you are a oracle that has a curse. All oracles do, and our curse is... Let's see, is it listed in here? No, it's not. So our curse... Let's see if I can find it. Hold on a second. It is not listed here. Oh, damn it. Let me see. I wrote it down. Where was I? I did not write it down. Crap. It's the one where you're diseased. That might literally be what it's called, but you specifically have to pick a trait, and that trait or that curse is your disease. That's going to give us some free spells. It will make us like resistant to some diseases effects later on, and it gives us like immunity to like fatigue or whatever. So again, some stuff that's going to buff you. Again, on that one, I would shy away from any curse that would have been a penalty to your attack bonus, especially if it's a melee attack bonus. Like there's one for like burned, where you literally have been burnt, set on fire, kind of like the witch that you have joined your team. Again, it's a bad idea, because even if you can overcome that penalty, or that penalty lessens over time as you increase Oracle ranks, it's still a bad idea to start off with a penalty to your swing. So I figured we'd stay away from that. And again, the one that makes us immune to disease or resistant to disease or whatever kind of makes sense. We are fighting demons after all, and demons kind of suck in that regard. So again, on you on that one. Notice that we went for our background, we're a Kadiran Wanderer. That's just so we can unlock Perception. This wasn't the only choice to unlock Perception. But again, the bonus to avoiding fatigue and exhaustion conditions. Again, you're a mainline, frontline character. Having a fatigue or exhaustion effect on you would straight up suck. Because again, strength is pretty much your cup of tea. So anything that would take that away, I figured, screw it, let's get a little penalty, or a bonus to that penalty. It's a saving throw check. So let's get into it. Let's see, level 2, what are we going to pick? We're just going to go Purist for Oracle. Notice that the skills that we have, you're going to get mobility to 3 and you'll never touch it again. You'll always increase perception. We'll always increase religion. eventually we'll get enough skill points that we can actually get Persuasion max, so it'll be 3 for this one, 20, 20, 20, and 17 for use magic device. I believe that's how that panned out. Maybe that's 10 or 7. Yeah, it's 7. That's what it is. So not max, but use magic dice. Your high charisma, and you should be fine still. Our first free spell, and again, remember to write down your spells because again, our spell list for like the life mystery, you don't want to pick spells that you're going to get for free anyway. So there's a large person, level 3. Mobility is finally done. Notice the extra skill point. You can use that now to unlock use magic device to have it. What are we going to grab at level 3? At level 3, we're going to grab Cleave. Notice we're actually going to get a weapon mastery here. Of the things in this list, the ones that matter to me, and again, we already started with one, that's Skill at Arms. We unlock Weapon Mastery at this point, and notice, first let's just hover up to see what you get. Notice you get Weapon Focus of a weapon of your choice, something you could be skilled in. It's important that you grab this after you grab your Skill at Arms, because this unlocks martial weapon proficiency for free. So by getting this one, we literally get to pick from a laundry list of stuff. That's where we get our Bardiche, our Glaive, Long Spear, I think was actually in simple weapon category, so if that was your thing, you didn't really need to grab that first, but I do appreciate having this one. So again, this could be another way for you to recoup another revelation if you wanted to use something specifically from this list, like Foresight, for example, or something that's going to come from the life mysteries. For their revelations, because there's some interesting healing ones that they have there that I'll guide you through. But Weapon Mastery is what we're going to grab now. It's going to, of course, ask us what weapon focus to grab. I'm going to say Bardiche. For spells, I've actually written these down. So the free spells you're going to get for level 1, just to be real clear here. You're going to get Enlarged Person. We already have that for free. Eventually, we got Cure Light Wounds for free, of course, as well. Eventually, we're going to get Remove Sickness for free. That's this guy here, and that's going to come from our Life Mystery. So don't grab that one, and against that one I probably would have grabbed anyway. On the list, those stuff that I do care about is some interesting ones that kind of are important, but aren't as important as you think. For example, Shield of Faith, we could probably have lost that one. I mean, it's a nice buff early, but you're going to get spells thanks to the Angel Mythic path that's going to supplant this one. Still important that you get this early on, I think, so again, I'm fine with taking it. Again, we'll drive you towards other spells if you want a replacement. But for this list here, notice things like Divine Favor is going to make the cut. Bane will make the cut because it's a nice penalty to the bad guys. Doom is a solid choice. Again, and the Inflict spells could have been a choice for you if that was your thing. I would shy away from Magic Weapon. It's not a bad bonus. For a decent amount of duration, but you're going to get greater magic weapon before the build's done anyways, and again, you can't slop really spells out easily. Protection from alignment is usually a go-to in most of my builds, if it weren't for the fact that you had Shield of Faith and spells like it. This is only a +2 deflection bonus, whereas this is +2 all the way up to a +7. Yes, you heard that correctly, +7 by the end of our build. Because we can become caster level 30, that actually doesn't stop at the +5 maximum that it says. It actually stops at +7. So it gets really, really powerful from that point on, which is pretty fucking cool. Well, while that dwarfs this, 7 versus 2, this one does have its benefits in that you get a bonus to your saving throws against targets of the specific alignment that you buff against. So again, Protection from Evil is the obvious choice, but Chaotic is another possible choice. Obviously, it doesn't do a damn bit of good against something that's true neutral, because there is no protection from neutral. So it's either good or evil, lawful or chaotic, your choice of those 4. Again, there's nothing stopping you from recasting it on yourself multiple times, but again, if anything's true neutral, it penetrates all that. Where this one, you'll have the full buff, at least for the armor. So I would shy away from Protection from Alignment. And there's be another spell that we're going to get or two that have an effect like this and better. So I'd shy away from that. You could convince me of Stunning Barriers. Weird as it is to say, well, this one's even worse than Shield of Faith, and certainly worse than Protection from Alignment. Doesn't last very long, and it's only a +1 to your deflection bonus and to your saves. There is no tie to an alignment. So again, there is that. The other part is it discharges the moment you get smacked in the snoot. However, it will discharge in a way that stuns the target, hence the name. And again, normally I would not pick this spell because, I've mentioned in previous videos, this is a great idea for a spell if it weren't for the fact that the casting time is a standard action. You take a spell like this, they'll make it a swift action, and there's a variety of ways you can do that. Sorceress Reflexes is something that we can get as a mythic ability, and we'll definitely grab it. This will allow us at the start of every fight to cast that spell instantaneously as a swift action. Tell me that's not appealing, because now you can run into battle with a minor buff, and everybody that takes the swing at you, the very first guy that hits you, has a chance of being stunned. It's not amazing, but I could see the fun to have there. Ray of Sickening is a solid choice. Again, there's a lot of good stuff in here. I'd shy away from the summon monsters until you get at least to summon monster 3. In fact, we won't even be grabbing those. We'll probably be grabbing the ones that's like level 6 on up, just to make sure we have some really good ones. Because you're a strong enough melee character yourself. So let's go with that Divine Favor and move on. Okay, now we got that Weapon Focus Bardiche for free. Remember that. So when you have that Bardiche equipped, you're going to have a nice bonus to your swing. Matter of fact, just to show it to you, that's your Bardiche right here. Look at our attack bonus. Again, base attack bonus of 2, strength of 4, +1 thanks to Weapon Focus. We'll get that greater Weapon Focus again for free. And improved critical, which again you have the choice to pick it for whatever weapon you want. Obviously, it would behoove you to grab it from the same weapon category. So if you're going to go Glaive, get Glaive every time. If you're going to go Bardiche like me, get Bardiche every time. Your choice, but I would probably stick with one weapon and just be really good at that. Of course, our power attack penalty kind of sucks, but again, we're swinging a two-handed weapon, so we're getting extra damage for it, and you better believe we're going to capitalize on that. Let's go up again. Oracle. Get that charisma up. Mobility is done now, so again we can just focus on these guys, and again now we're going to try to get persuasion to catch up to these two, religion and perception. And religion is going to suffer because we don't have the best wisdom ever, but we're going to invest in it heavily because again you are a religious character as an oracle, kind of thematically makes sense. For level 2 spells now, for free stuff we're going to get, you don't see it right now, it's right here, Bull Strength. We're going to get this one for free. We're going to get Cure Moderate Wounds for free. We're going to get Lesser Restoration for free, so it should be under the R's for resto here. This one for free, and we're going to get another one that's not on this list from our being the diseased curse that we have for the oracle called Pox Postules. It's not an amazing spell, but you do get it for free. So again, as far as spells that we can grab, Bone Shaker is a solid staple. It's an auto hit spell, will do really good damage, and even if they make the save, which is a Fortitude save, they will take half damage, so at least there's something there. It has a really nice range. You can soften up a wizard from distance, for example. Arrow of Law is something that we'll definitely grab before too long. Again, a ray spell, and you may say, well, you're not really a dex-based character, you don't have point blank shot or precise shot, and you're not going to get that in the build, but again, it is a touch attack, and touch attacks are notoriously easy for hitting targets, so just use it against a target that you know has armor, so again, it will ignore that armor. Solid choice, in my opinion, and of course, it's capital use against a chaotic outsider for extra damage. Having said that, other stuff on this list, Delayed Poison normally would make my cut, and it did originally until I started going through the list of spells that we get for free from the Angel Merge spellbook that we're going to get. There's going to be a lot of buffs that we have that do things, like I said before, of dwarfing things like Shield of Faith. It'll be just as good, if not better. Same with Delayed Poison. We'll become immune. You can do that for the whole damn team, not just for poisons, but also for diseases as well. So again, it's one of those where it's kind of hard to pick this spell now, unless, again, you want to respec your character later and spec it out, which is an option. Because of that, other stuff that trips my trigger here is like Find Traps. You're in the front ranks anyway as the main team leader. You're fully armored up. You got really good buff spells. You're strong. You may not have the best constitution ever, but a 12 was not bad. And I figured, you know, if you're going to be buffed up and kind of the main tank or the off tank, having you with a high perception spotting traps, which is what this one will do, is a solid choice for you. And again, you can see the appeal. Also, Hold Person makes the cut here because, again, another way for you to literally lock up a target and really go have some fun where you like coup de grace, which is basically an automatic crit for those of you that don't know. Solid choice. Again, your inflict spells again. Notice that we also have Resist Energy on the list. Another one that, again, while a great spell, and of course Resist Energy Communal, which is coming right down the pipe here at level 3, much like Delayed Poison Communal, which I should have mentioned before. These are great spells. However, again, we're going to find spells that make this insignificant. You're going to have literally so much buff potential coming from that Angel spellbook that it's kind of hard to pick this. Again, if it's a lot like Delayed Poison, if you want to grab it now and then respec it out later, you know, you're going to have to write all this shit down again and redo your build a second time once you start unlocking that cooler stuff. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to cost you some money, but I would rather just show you what I would have as final picks. So let's just do that. So let's get back to our damage dealing. So here's a Bone Shaker for you. Now, we're going to go to level 5 before we unlock our Mythic Path. Notice that we're getting caught up on that Persuasion. We're almost there. What we're going to grab here at level 5. This is where we start grabbing things that capitalize on that cleave. So here's Cleaving Finish. If you don't like that one, we can get Great Cleave. We're going to get all of them, so it doesn't matter which one you grab now. Again, Great Cleave is probably the best choice for me. the cleaving finish, again, is autopilot. So again, if you kill something, you try to cleave something else within range. Nothing wrong with that too. I do like Great Cleave though, because I will click on the ability, swing at multiple dudes that way. So kind of on you. For level 1 spells, what else were we going to grab? So we're already got Shield of Faith and Bless and Divine Favor. Now Bane or Doom. I'll go with Bane. For level 2 spells, we got Bone Shaker already. Let's get that Fine Traps. There's your Pox Postules I mentioned, and of course here's your Bull Strength for free. The other one's not here yet, the Lesser Restoration, because again we haven't picked up Life Mystery yet. We're about to do that though here in a moment. Now that you're level 5, I would say you probably unlocked Mythic Rank 1. So let's do that, and you're a Mythic Hero. Again, it is important. Well, Close to Heavens, we're just going to pick it just because, again, you're an angel. Makes sense that you just keep going with theme. I do like the Acid and Cold Resistance, Immunity to Petrification. That's going to be really nice once you get Mythic Rank 2. The Ray spell is pretty badass. I kind of enjoy it. So again, everyone's different on that one. As far as abilities in here, though, you really want to scroll all the way down here to Second Mystery. And this is where you're going to unlock your Life Mystery. Okay. If you ever wanted to know what these other ones do, again, you can just click through each one of them individually and scroll through and see what kind of spells that they have. There's some really good ones in here for spells. I was a personal fan of the fire damage because the fire body is amazing upgrade. Firestorm's nice. Dragon form could be viable for you, especially when you buff up, because again you can still cast spells in this form. Fireball, burning hands, all some really good stuff here. And again, if you want with the burning curse, not only do you get burning hands for free ahead of time, you get like Scorching Ray and Fireball or Burning Arc or something like that. So again, some other free spells as you level up your Oracle. So some fun here, some extra synergy there. But these are solid choices. Bones was interesting. I mean, if you wanted to go more Necrolord, but you know, still some fun spells in here. Stone was the one that was the acid, not the earth. Sorry, I had that wrong. But this would be the one that I would use for, again, if I went for that Oriad build, where it was again strength, charisma, or con and charisma race for the Oriad, or sub race, I should say, or heritage. A lot of acid spells, not a whole lot of them that have DC checks. So again, the Oriad that gets a bonus to the DC checks of acid spells is not really helping you a whole lot, but it would help you with acidic spray, it would help you for caustic eruption. And while this isn't an acid spell, Clashing Rocks is a solid upgrade. Notice your upgrade over here for your Final Revelation, we get these acid descriptor spells getting powered for free once you get to be level 20. It's pretty badass. Again, the same thing with like waves, wind, and flame. So flame is fire, waves would be cold, and wind would be electric attacks. Same general principle and same buff where you get to empower electric spells or cold spells or fire spells. So some serious fun here if you want to go a specific elemental route, just to point that out to you. But again, we are taking life now. And again, there's our spells that we're getting for free. Remove sickness, lesser restoration, neutralize poison, which we would never pick, but hey, it's free. Take it. Restoration, breath of life, again another spell that we won't need, but it's free, so we're going to take it. Heal, amazing spell, I'll show you why later. A greater rest, and same with mass heal. Greater restoration, solid spell that you wanted for free. Here you go, mass heal, and you get this one at level 8, where mass heal normally shows up at level 9, which means we can actually pick it at level 9 as well. So you get mass heal twice. As weird as it is to say, it's a solid choice in my opinion. You don't have to. I just like having more tapped ability to tap that mass heal, because that's an amazing amount of healing you get to do there. Heroic Invocation is a solid upgrade, and again, for a free spell, you'll happily take that. So now we have that, and the reason that was important before level 6 was because of, well, actually before level 7 is because of this. Remember, you want to have it before level 7 so that if you want to take a revelation from the Life Mythic, or from the Life Mystery, that you have access to it now. Okay, so you can't level up 7 and then go, well, actually, I suppose you could if you ding at the same time. But you'd rather know that it's there waiting for you. You don't have to hold off the leveling process. Let's go up to level 5, to level 6 now. Upgrade those guys. Level 3 spells, the ones you're going to get for free. Again, just to remind you, of course, here's your Lesser Restoration that we just got, and Remove Sickness that we got. Now level 3 spells, which we've yet to grab. If I grab Anime Dead, I can show you on the list here. You're going to get access to Magical Vestment for free. You can get Neutralize Poison for free, which is not even on this list. And you'll get Cure Serious Wounds for free, because we picked healing spells as our choice. So again, a lot of good stuff. Now the question then becomes what to actually grab. Well, the ones that I liked Protection from Energy, But again, we have spells that kind of make that kind of obsolete. Still, it's nice to have that protection, especially if you're going to pass on resist energy in favor of getting those angel buff spells that give you basically resistance to all energy. Getting this one at least to hold you over is a solid choice. Prayer is a solid choice here. But again, another one of those where we're going to get another spell later on that's exactly the same but double the strength. So it's going to be a +2 and a -2 to the bad guys correspondingly. It's going to be a luck bonus, so they won't stack. It's the same duration even. It'll be a higher casting spell called Holy Hymn or something like that. And it's going to be one of those where, again, once you have it, this one's kind of obsolete. But again, just because it's obsolete doesn't mean you don't want it. Again, same reason why you like Divine Favor, even though Divine Power is coming. Divine Power is clearly better. Divine Favor, though, when you run out of Divine Power, Divine Favor is there waiting for you. So again, I still maintain that Prayer is a solid choice. Other stuff that I liked was Searing Light. Again, while you're not amazing at range spell casting with no point blank shot and precise shot, this is an amazing spell for damage, and it's a nice medium range zappy spell. So again, I appreciate those. Dispelled Magic, of course, is always a staple, especially if you're trying to remove ground-based effects that your team would have to deal with, like web spells and grease spells that you didn't cast or your team didn't cast. This is a way to basically make that go away. Other stuff that was on this list that could be of value, Animate Dead, even though you're not, someone who really like jive on being a Necro Lord kind of guy. Still an amazing spell. I'm going to pass on it, but it's one of those where you could convince me that that is worth taking. Archons, or another one that, again, since you're in the front ranks, is a solid choice for you. It puts that whole fear effect or that shaken effect on targets, I believe. No, minus penalty. Just a straight up minus penalty to targets. The moment they hit you, it breaks the effect. Of course, the moment they make a will save when they walk into the area, it breaks the effect as well. So, less useful, but it will last a long time. It's still a solid choice. Blindness is, of course, okay. Again, your inflict spells are okay, if that's your thing. I shy away from the remove curse, remove disease, remove blindness types of spells. I just get those for scrolls. You'd have access to them. You wouldn't even need to use magic device to cast them. They're part of your repertoire. Again, here's Summon Monster 3. If you wanted to start grabbing pets, you could do so. The point is, though, there's a lot to pick from. So what am I going to grab here? Level 3, let's grab that protection from energy. Let's get me, myself, and my team protected a little bit here. Okay, now at that point, let's just assume that you are leveling up to Mythic Rank 2. So you're Mythic Rank 2 here. You're going to grab Power Attack Mythic. This is literally going to increase your damage output significantly. Normally, Power Attack is a +2 to your damage for every -1 to your swing. If it's a two-handed weapon, it goes up to +3. For you, because you're using a two-handed weapon, with Power Attack Mythic, instead of it being -1 +3, it's going to be -1 +5. You're doing a lot more damage this way. So I figured, why the hell not? Now, I could go Weapon Focus Mythic for the Bardiche. It's a +1 to your swing extra. And when we get Greater Weapon Focus, again for the Bardiche, I assume, you don't have to, but you should. That would be another +2 instead of a +1. So you can get a +4 to your swing. So this is in the build. We're just not grabbing this yet. I'd rather you start doing damage now. You could convince me Sorcerer's Reflex. Again, something else that's going to be in the build. So you can instant cast those spells for that very first start of the fight. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, damage is always appreciated, I think. From here, we're going to level up again. Level 7. Going. Now it's where we grab our Cleaving Finish. Level 7. Yep. And we're also going to grab another Revelation. Now, notice that we have a laundry list of ones. Not all of them. Some of them are hidden behind level 11. So once you get to level 11, you'll have access to all the life ones and all the battle ones, because that's the two mysteries that we have. So stuff is still coming down the pipe that you haven't seen yet. But know that most everything that's here is stuff that I care about and stuff that I want. Battle Cry, Pass, Battlefield Clarity, not my thing. Channel, that's something of value, and that's something I could totally get on board with, but I'm actually going to push that back to 11. Why? Because, A, you're probably not the main healer in the team anyway. You can heal, and you're good at it, but let someone else do it, or bring another healer, Bard, or anyone else that could heal for the team. You'll get around to getting Channel. But only after we get our improved Cleaving Finish locked in, because that's, you're a damage dealer. You're a self-buff bot, and you can heal sometimes when you need to. So we're going to push that back a little bit. Notice we get Combat Healer. Notice Combat Healer is actually part of, you hover over here, you see the prerequisite, part of the battle and the life path. That's not to say that you get a double bonus here. It just means that either of the paths could have grabbed it at level 7, which is where you're at right now. Now notice what this one does. We can literally cast this as a quicken spell, so basically a swift action. Any of our cure spells, they have to have cure in the name. It might even work on heal spell. Never tested it. And I'm not grabbing it. Why? because you only use it a number of times a day. It's limited, and what's even worse about this to me is the fact that you literally have to burn up 2 spell slots to do it. So a spell that would normally be easy peasy for you to use, now it's chewing up 2 slots just so you can cast it a little bit faster. Not my thing. Enhanced Cures, on the other hand, you may say is a solid choice, and it definitely is. The downside of this one is we have the exact same effect that can be purchased, if you will, over on the other side for the mythic path called Boundless Healing. And Boundless Healing does this and even more. Allows you to shoot your ray spells, or your cure spells, excuse me, as if they were ray spells instead of melee touch attacks. So I can, like, healing word, if you will, people from a distance, or attack undead at a distance as a ray cast. So again, do you need this one? No. It's here. You could pick it up later, and then forego Boundless Healing. There's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, if we did that, instead of being able to ray cast, which again isn't your cup of tea, we could recycle that feat that we're going to get from the mythic side of things and get ourselves something like greater abundant casting. So we have even more spells, which I think might be the way it goes. This is something we want, just not right now. What else could I grab here? Well, I'm going to grab a WotR one, and it's this Foresight guy here. Why? Look what it gives us. Uncanny Dodge at level 7. When we roll for initiative, we roll twice and take either result. Again, you're in battle, your dexterity kind of shit. So initiative rolls are kind of important for you, like they are for everybody. So having the roll twice and take the best result is clearly a boon. Notice at level 11, which is just down the pipe, we get to roll 3 times and again take the best result. So again, even more likely that you're going to be higher up on the totem pole for attacking shit. And again, you may say, well, put something else in place, like channel. Like we said, we do want that, and then get Foresight later. Sure, you could do that. Again, feel free to slot these things around as you see fit. But I still maintain you want initiative early. So we're grabbing that now. For here, notice that we're going to grab for level 1. Let's see where we at right now. I am still missing. I got Bless, I got Bane, I got Divine Favor. I got Cure spells, of course. We're missing Doom. Let's grab that Doom. Level 2 spell. What are we missing from this one? We got Bone Shaker. No, we do not. Yeah, we do. Here it is. We got Bone Shaker, Fine Traps already. Yep. Okay, what else is missing then? Again, I have, Delayed Poison, Resist Energy. We're not taking them. You can spec them out later. So Resist Energy and Delayed Poison up here. Their replacements to me were Fine Traps and Hold Person. Also, could have grabbed Effortless Armor. Again, you do run around in armor. Having your speed penalty go down 10 feet is kind of annoying. When everyone else is moving at 30 and you're moving at 20, it kind of sucks. So this is a value to you. This is not because of its ability to give you back your armor check penalty for athletics and stealth and mobility. Yes, you have a little bit of mobility. It's not enough to give a rat's ass about, but this is really all about getting your speed back. But it's going to be like the last one in my opinion. So again, what do you want? Do you want Hold Person now? Or do you want, where'd it go? Arrow of Law. Do you want another attack? Do you want a Paralysis attack? I think Paralysis. Level 3, what are we going to grab here? Again, Magical Vestment, Neutralize Poison, and Cure Serious Wounds are free. We got our Protection from Energy already. Let's grab that Searing Light. And there's, of course, our Uncanny Dodge, which came free from our Foresight. Okay, now because of that, we're going to say that at level 7, we're also going to be Mythic Rank 3, where we finally open Angel. Again, pure guesswork on a lot of this stuff. Level 3, this is where we're going to grab ourselves. Normally, I would say get that Boundless Healing, and again, just to show it to you. This is what is on the original build, but again, we can forego it in favor of braving that Enhanced Cures later. The Boundless Healing is a solid choice, does exactly the same thing that Enhanced Curing does, but it also gives us that reachability. And I did test this recently. This does work, so that's a solid choice for you. Since we're not grabbing that, we can move something else up instead. Something like Enduring Spells, perhaps, or Abundant Casting. Always a solid choice. Again, 4 extra spells at level 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to have a merged spellbook, so even more spells that we didn't have access to at level 2 and 3 are going to show up, and we'll have to walk you through those. Make sure to pick the Mythic Spellbook Oracle. That's the merged spellbook. Notice you've got a lot of free spells, and again, because we're merging spell books, we're actually a higher caster level. It means we're going to get dumped a lot of free spells now. Okay, so at level 2, again, we're going to grab ourselves, where were we at? Arrow of Law. Level 3, we're going to grab ourselves, let me find it. We got dispel magic yet. Nope, let's grab it. Now level 4, we're getting 2 spells. Level 4, we're getting for free. It's not in here yet. But you're going to get Mass Enlarged Person, not that we care. Cure critical wounds, again, for free, which is awesome. And Restoration, which is awesome. And then these free spells here, these are the ones that are specific for the Angel Mythic Path. Those always just show up. Those are free, just like you saw these Ward Against Disease, Shield from Demonkind here for free. And Grant Repose as well. Nothing at level 2, or level 1 for that matter. But at level 3, you start getting all kinds of free shit. Here's level 5 free stuff, no less. So level 4, what are we going to grab? I'm going to grab myself for level 4. I like Greater Magic Weapon. Right here. I like Freedom of Movement. I never like being paralyzed, and I like extra hit bonus, and I like my extra damage. And again, this will stack with the weapon until you get a +5 weapon. And you may say, well, that's garbage at that point. But remember something. Greater Magic Weapon doesn't have to be cast on you. Someone on your team, for example, could be wielding a +1 weapon that's badass, but it's a +1, so you're likely to throw it away because, well, I'd rather have the +5 weapon versus the +1 flaming ice sword of doom or whatever. Well, you can make it +5 for them for multiple hours a day to the point where it's going to be 24 hours before too long. So again, a solid upgrade for you and your team. And it doesn't even have to be the main weapon. It can be cast on the offhand weapon. So if you have a 2-weapon wielder, choppity with a nice +5 for both of those weapons, you can see the appeal. Level 5 free spell. Again, we got these ones up here, and again, these ones are going to replace a lot of things that, again, we could have gotten. Again, look at it. This one here is an example. It's immunity to disease and poison, so that's why delay poison is not necessary. This one here allows you to be immune to disease and poisons for you and your team, and again, for only 10 minutes at a time, but very quickly, we're going to get the ability to make that a 24-hour buff. So again, that's why we really don't need those delay poisons and communal delay poison spells. So, what are we going to grab here? Again, Bone Shatter is a solid choice. I like Angelic Aspect, but its big brother, Greater Angelic Aspect, is down the pipe, and we're probably going to grab that. Break Enchantment is a good choice for you, specifically because it will AoE, remove curses, transmutations, and enchantments that are affecting you and your team. Only if they're level 5 or lower, but it's still a solid upgrade. Cleanse is something that I originally had on my pick. I actually have it now as a, you should probably get rid of this. Why? Because we have things like Cleansing Flame and stuff that we just saw back here. Where'd it go? Stop that. Cleansing Flame and stuff like that will do the same thing, but AoE style for you and your team. And again, we have other buffs and shit that'll make you immune to the point where you probably won't be affected by the stuff that Cleanse would actually do. Yeah, Cleanse can heal. That's awesome, and we'll appreciate that. Fucking 4d8 plus 30, because it says 25. We'll take that cap away. We'll be level 30 healing before too long. But removing those ability drains and blind and confuse and all that stuff, again, we can make ourselves warded in a variety of ways that'll protect us from all that shit. I don't see needing this spell. So again, slop that one out instead. Well, what would we grab instead of Cleanse? Stuff on this list that I liked was Bone Shatter for the ability to hit. I also liked Spell Resistance. Where'd you go, you little bastard? Right here. And you may say, well, what about Righteous Might? Well, Righteous Might at level 5 is one of our free spells. So we're going to have that as soon as we get this level up. Righteous Might's going to show up. So is Mass Cure Light Wounds. So is Breath of Life, which is this is the bastard right up here. So again, we're getting a lot of free stuff anyway. Some that are kind of redundant and not necessary, but again, we'll happily take them. But what we're going to replace, where did it go? Cleanse with. Well, here's Pillar of Life. That's a nice spell. Life Bubble, something that we could grab and probably was on the list anyway. Flame Strike, if you want some AoE damage. And hey, man, who doesn't love that shit? Constricting Coils is a solid choice. Again, since you're going to have buffs and things like Conjuration, you might look in here to see if there's any kind of Conjuration spell you give a rat's ass about. Like Raise Dead, we don't have that yet. That'd be a solid choice for you. I mean, it's not a buff, but it's helpful. I could get another Summons. Vine Trap, again, is an amazing spell without even really thinking about it. Again, this is a good Conjuration spell and does Cold Iron damage, which is kind of important for you if you're fighting Demon types, which we are. That's the way to get over their damage reduction is Cold Iron weapons. So again, being Cold Iron is of value. It's lame damage, but it's a nice lockup for the bad guy. And again, we're going to have buffs to Conjuration spells anyway, so this is a solid choice. We don't have those yet. Up to you. Again, True Sing is a solid buff I didn't take. You could totally take that. But I'm going to grab Life Bubble. Why Life Bubble? This one actually makes you immune to disease and poisons. Does a variety of other things, harmful gases and vapors and stuff. Again, you'd be protected from you and your team for multiple hours a day. While it says only one, again, we rapidly get that into a 24-hour buff before too long. That's a solid choice. And again, kind of counterintuitive with all the wards that we have. So maybe we won't want that lift. Let's grab that Flame Strike. Let's change shit up. Get that Flame Strike going. Now, we are currently, what? Level 7. And our Mythic Path is 3. So let's go to level 8 and go to Mythic Path 4 after that. More Charisma, always Charisma. Get those guys always up. And at this point, anything that's left over, which we don't have right now, we'll go into Use Magic Device. Here's Improved Critical. Notice, again, it's giving us a choice to anything. You do not have to meet the requirements. Normally, you would have to have Weapon Focus in one of these things. We have Weapon Focus in Bardi, so that's why it should be picked, in my opinion. But if you want to get a weapon or Improved Critical for Longsword, hey man, do that thing. There's nothing stopping you. But you've already picked Weapon Focus in Bardiche or Glaive or Longspear, in my opinion. I'd pick one of those and just keep running with it. In our case, we're going to go Bardiche. Notice level 2 spells, and we're back to our spell book like normal. Again, this is our picks from the Oracle side of things. Back to normal picking. So what level 2 stuff are we missing out on? We already had our Hold Person, Bone Shaker, Fine Traps, Arrow of Law. So then at this point, if you're not getting Resist Energy or Delay Poison, which I say we don't really need, I'm going to go for that Effortless Armor. And that's our last pick for this level, I believe. Level 3 spells, what we have here. Protection from Energy, we got that already. Prayer, we've yet to grab that, but we might not need it. Searing Light, we've grabbed it already. Dispel Magic, we've grabbed it already. And that was it. So if we're not getting Prayer, then we're getting something else. Well, is there something else in here that you could convince yourself that replacing Prayer is worth? Again, Animate Dead, Archon's Aura. Again, if they make that save, then do a damn bit of good. But anyone that does fail that save, at least they're at -2 to their swing and their saving throws and armor. There's a lot of buff, or penalties, if you will, to the bad guys, buff for you and your team. Easier for you to hit them, less likely they'll hit you, and your spells DC checks are more likely to land because their saving throws are all penalized. So let's grab Archon's Aura just to mix things up again. What are we going to do for level 4 spell now? We're already at level 4, and we already have... let's see, got Freedom of Movement. We got Greater Magic Weapon. I would like to grab Death Ward and Divine Power. That's these two here. And you may say, are these necessary? They're not. Divine Power is a solid choice. But let's walk you through Death Ward first. Death Ward isn't necessary per se. Again, another one of those where it protects us from a variety of things. Energy drain, negative energy effects, and so forth. We have buffs that will protect us from that, or we will very soon. Let's see, do we have one at level 5 yet? Yeah, here's ability damage and ability drain. It's not the same as energy drain, I don't think, though, because energy drain is like negative levels. So Death Ward's still useful, but again, we will eventually unlock the ability to be immune to stuff. I still like Death Ward, though. It's still one of those where it's kind of hard for me not to take it. I will take Divine Power first, though, and this is a solid upgrade, because this will be a solid +6 luck bonus to your attacks, to your damage, to your strength checks, which is an ability check, to your strength-based skill checks, which is obviously athletics, not that you care. It'll give you some temp HP up to our caster level, which again is going to be caster level 30 by the end of this build. Plus, after all that, we get one more full attack around, so it's kind of like haste, but not really on your character. So again, extra swings, extra chance to hit, extra damage. Who doesn't love all those things? So we'll take a Divine Power. Level 5 spells. Again, here's our Righteous Might that we got for free, our Mass Cure Light Wounds we got for free, and our Breath of Light that we got for free. Cleansing Flames, ward against harm, and communal ward against impurity. Again, we're all free from the Angel Spellbook side of things. Flame Strike we picked already. Let's grab that Bone Shatter, I say. Alright, go back, and we're going to pick our next level 4 Mythic Path of Angel. We're going to grab ourselves, let's see. Got our Abundant Casting already, so let's grab our Sorcerer's Reflex. This guy right here. Sorcerer's Reflex allows you at the start of every fight, after the initiative roll, of course, the very first spell you cast in that round, or that fight, I believe, actually, it even had to be in round 1. The first spell you cast as a swift action. So literally when the fight starts, you can be like, oh, I want Divine Favor on. Poof, and still attack. Or Divine Power, and still attack. So you can see the appeal here. Or like, oh shit, we got jumped and I'm not protected from poison, and I know these guys are going to cast poison and kick me off of a spell that protects me and my team from poison. Boom, instantaneous swift action spell, and I still get to attack. That's why I like this one. From here, you're going to get yourself Everlasting Flame. This is a staple since we figured out that this will actually not only extend the duration of your sword buff, this Sword of Heaven that we got, which again was free. I didn't mention it, but it's there. This will not only extend the duration of it to 1 minute per mythic rank instead of just being 1 minute every time you click it. This will also, with enduring spells, weirdly, and greater enduring spells, can become a 24-hour buff still. The devs have never taken that away. Maybe they never will, and I'm cool with that, because if that's the case, then you're walking around with a 24-hour flaming sword buff, crushing some shit. From here, again, free spell. So level 6 now, again, notice we got all these free ones. Here's our Holy Hymn, that's like prayer but better. Ward against weakness. This one's protecting against even more things. So now we're at fatigue, exhaustion, nausea, sick, and disease, poison, ability damage, and ability drain for 10 minutes. And again, with greater enduring spells, we can actually turn that into a 24-hour buff, which is amazing. Of course, this one here is already for 10 minutes. And again, everything that we just said here, but minus something. So there's one thing or one or two things missing, because it's always the next one is the next upgrade. And level 7, we'll get the same exact spell, but it'll be the communal version. Notice that Aegis of the Faithful. This is another reason why Shield of Faith isn't necessary to me. Also, why Resist Energy isn't necessary. Because look at this one. We get Resist Fire, Cold, Electric, Acid, and Sonic all from one spell. Doesn't last as long, 1 minute per level, but again, we can make that 24-hour buff before too long. We also get a Protection from Arrows, which is garbage. Displacement, which is free, and I love that for a 24-hour buff. And we get a Shield spell, which is something you didn't normally have access to, for free. And since we can't wield a shield with wielding a two-handed weapon like you're doing, this is a solid upgrade. So again, amazing spell for you and your team. And of course, damaging spells besides, and buffs / debuffs. What are we going to grab here from our list over here? At level 6, the other stuff you're going to get for free is going to be Mass Bull, Strength, who cares, Heal, which you do care about, Mass Cure, Moderate Wounds, and again, you care about all those because the heals, so again, solid choices there. Ones in this list that make the cut for me, I'll just walk you through the 3 we're going to grab, and then we'll kind of talk about other stuff you could take instead. I like Chains of Light. Notice it's a conjuration spell, no spell resistance, paralysis spell, gotta love those. I also like Eagle Soul. This is an amazing strength buff, sacred strength buff. Notice that it requires you to be good to cast this on you, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because non-good spellcasters or evil spellcasters get staggered or sickened depending on if they're neutral or if they're evil. So again, we're lawful good. There's a reason to be lawful good. So again, bonus to your armor, that's a sacred bonus no less, plus 4 sacred bonus to strength, making you even stronger, which of course you'll appreciate. Some resistance to acid and fire. Bonus to intimidation checks. This is another spell that if instead of going with the conjuration and summoning build that we're doing here at the very end, and you wanted to tweak it in for that dazzling display, corn against smash, air defenses, and dreadful carnage, you could fit it in this build. And this would make it even better because you're getting an intimidation bonus, plus 5 sacred bonus to persuasion, but only when you're intimidating against evil creatures. So if we're fighting against evil, which is routine for us in this game, a solid way for you to start scaring those motherfuckers. You get fast healing 2s. We also get a bonus to our initiative checks. Remember, we get to roll that 3 times by the end of this build, so that's a solid upgrade, and then getting it as plus 2 for all those 3 rolls, that's nice. Then, notice that we confirm all critical threats made against an evil creature with our weapon. That's going to be amazing. So when we're fighting evil guys and you just happen to roll that 19 or 20 or that 17, 18, 19, 20, once we have the improved critical for Bardiche, which I think we already have, you'll have the ability to crit more often than not because you're fighting evil. It's going to be autopilot. The downside is it doesn't last very long. This is a 1 round per level guy, and we don't have really any way to make it perma, no 24-hour buff. If we extended this somehow, we might be able to, because you're going to be 3 rounds, or sorry, 1 round per level. You're level 30 by the end of this build. That's 30 rounds. That's 3 minutes. If you had extended that, that turns it into 6 minutes. If my math is right on that, and then all you need to do is get past 5 minutes where it becomes a 24-hour buff. So if you had a metamagic rod, for example, you might be able to make this an extend metamagic effect and get that to be a 24-hour buff. And now imagine that being a badass bastard running around with extra armor, extra strength, extra intimidation, all that freaking fast healing where you're always regenerating, some bonus to initiative all the time, and you're always confirming crits against evil targets. Just an amazing screw you spell. Other stuff that could make the list. Let's see, where was my numbers here? Eagle, what level is this? 6. Eagle Soul. Also, Hellfire Ray makes the cut. Amazing spell, multiple beams. You may not be really dexterous and not very good at beams, but you got 3 of them and they're ray touch attacks, so it's pretty easy to hit them. Other stuff in this list, again, this is where we finally get into the summons that they actually matter to me. So you could convince me that grabbing an elemental summons or a summon monster could be a good choice now. Maybe some true seeing communal for you and your team. If you're fighting a lot of undead, Undeath to Death is a solid upgrade, but you're going to be slaughtering undead probably pretty fucking easy. Because of your diseased curse, any disease effects that you cast actually gets a bonus. So if we tried to do something like Plague Storm, this would actually be more likely to work. But against Necromancy, and it doesn't feel like the kind of character you would play. Hellfire Ray, you may say, oh, it's Hellfire, and I'm not a good guy. But yeah, remember, Hellfire Ray damages things from hell. That's the whole point. Because even if they're immune to fire, they still take half of the damage. So there's reasons to want that one. Again, Create Undead is a solid choice. Blade Barrier is good. Cold Eye Strike is a swift action, automatically a swift action spell is a solid choice. Banishment against these demon motherfuckers. Remember, they're from another dimension. They're not supposed to fucking be here. So Dismissal and Banishment, the AoE version, is a good possible choice for making these demons just straight up go away and trivializing many fights. So solid choices here. But let's go with that Eagle Soul. At this point, we are now, what? Rank 8. So let's take it to... Nope. Gotta keep going. Here we are. Improved Cleaving Finish. Now we're actually done with the build as far as your attack chain. Improved Cleaving Finish is on the menu. At this point, it's all about Enlarged Person, Righteous Might, Legendary Proportions, or Frightful Aspect. Anything that can make you bigger, better reach, stronger. That's our cup of tea. That's what we're really driving home here. Your attack bonus going up, your damage going up. All those spells are great. So Divine Favor, Divine Power, all solid choices. But anything that increases your strength and your reach of your weapons makes your Improved Cleaving Finish just amazing. The reach you're going to have in this character is going to be very, very nice. From here, what we're going to grab at level 6 now. So we already grabbed our Eagle Soul. Let's grab that Chains of Light. Oops, I already at level 4. My bad. Level 4, what we're grabbing? We're grabbing Freedom of Movement, Death Ward, Divine Power, Freedom of Movement, Death Ward. Here it is. Level 5, what we're going to grab now. We got Bone Shatter. Yes. We got Spell Resistance yet? No. That's why this one's here on the list. And again, remember Spell Resistance, we can make it a 24-hour buff for you or anyone on your team. And, better than that, it's equal to the Spell Resistance is 12 plus our caster level. Remember, our caster level with the Merge Spellbook is going to reach 30. So that's a 42 Spell Resistance, which is ridiculously high. Level 6. There we go. Let's grab our Chains of Light now. Okay, so we're going to level 10. Level 7 spells we're going to get free. Now, switch page, because there's so many spells we have to literally write on another page for it. The free spells you're going to get for level 7, besides these ones here, which again come from your Angel Spellbook, you're going to get Legendary Proportions. It's another amazing spell. That makes you actually 2 sizes category higher than normal. You're going to get Mass Cure Serious Wounds and Greater Restoration. All solid choices. Radiant Ground, Sun Marked Wall of Light, and Communal Ward Against Weakness. Again, solid choices here. But for the spells that we're going to pick at this level, I like stuff like Bestow Grace of the Champion. This can actually be cast on yourself if you're lawful good. The target, whatever the target is, whether it's you or your friend, can use your Charisma modifier, much like a Paladin, in that your Charisma bonus is added to all your saving throws. Well, your Charisma bonus is going to be through the fucking roof. So that +7 or higher is going to be even higher when we get gear. You can cast this spell on yourself. Won't last long, but again, see my original statement on extended magic rods. If we take this to 5 minutes or greater, this is the potential of being a 24-hour buff on your character, making you ungodly untouchable when it comes to saves. Also immune to disease and fear, just for free. Solid spell. Other ones we're going to grab at this level will include things like Resurrection, because, I mean, figure at this point you probably need to start getting teammates on their feet. Notice it's going to take some diamonds, so start stockpiling those things, and don't let people die is my advice to you, but it's a solid upgrade at that point. Remember, Greater Restoration is free. At this point, we're also going to get a Summon Monster. It finally matters to me. And if, again, you don't think anyone's going to die, if you don't think Raise Dead or Resurrection are spells that you're going to want, here's Umbral Strike. It's a solid choice. Jolting Portent is not that bad. Destruction's a solid spell. I don't even know what the hell this one is. So I'd pass on it for the time being. Greater Bestow Curse is not the worst thing ever. So again, there's a few decent choices in here that can change your mind about what you're grabbing. But let's get back up here and grab our Bestow Grace of the Champion. Thank you. Alright, so now we are officially level 10, is that correct? Yes, so now we're going to do level 5 Mythic Rank. I try to keep at this point every 2 and then go back to Mythic Rank level. So 5 when I'm level 10, 6 will be level 12, and get the idea. What we're going to grab here at level 5, besides, of course, our Halo upgrade and the better divas. Remember, we've been getting summons all this time. We're going to finally go back and pick Originally, I had Abundant Casting. Remember, we grabbed that earlier because we said pass on the Boundless Healing because we're going to get that other one instead. You know, we can still grab Boundless Healing, but again, I say pass on that. So what else might we grab? Well, how about we grab that Enduring Spells now? Start getting them spells to be 24-hour buffs. Anything that reaches an hour, boom, 24 hours. It's a nice upgrade for you and your teammates. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Moving on, over here we're going to grab Piercing Rays, and this is one for you specifically. All enemies in 50 feet suffer a penalty to spell resistance equal to 1 plus half our angel mythic rank, so at best case scenario it'll be -6 to all their spell resistance, which makes it easier for you and your teammates to soften them up with your spells. Obviously, you still have to penetrate their spell resistance. Notice that also a penalty to saving throws equal to half that. So if it's a -6 to spell resistance, it's a -3 to all their saves. So as long as your halo's on, and there's no reason for it at this point for it not to be. Remember, this is the angelic halo, not your Aasimar halo. Don't confuse the two. You want the big bad one that's like fucking flaming and glowing and all badass. That's the one you want on at all times. This thing is going to be amazing for you to soften up the bad guys. Here at level 5, what are we going to grab now? We got 5. We've already got our Bone Shatter. We got our spell resistance, and at this point in Flame Strike already. So again, we can grab whatever the hell we want. Again, I had Life Bubble on the list, but we've changed our mind on that. Let's grab that Vine Trap. I like the idea of having that. As another Conjuration spell, we got a really good chance to land that, especially once we get our spell focus and greater spell focus for Conjuration, which are coming real quick. And that'll allow us to lock up demons and do damage with them with the Cold Iron damage that they have access to. And again, entangling those bastards and taking them out of our way. Plus, the effect actually does look pretty fucking cool, I will say. Level 6 spells. We got our Eagle Soul, we got our Chains of Light. Where are we at? We got Eagle Soul, we got Chains of Light, and then one thing that's left was Hellfire Ray for me. Again, Elemental Cessor, Greater Dispel Magic are solid choices. Again, Create Undead, Cold Ice Strike, Banishment, good choices here, but I do like that damage from Hellfire Ray. Level 7. What we're going to grab now, we already got our Bestow Race of the Champion. I say it's time for us to grab either Resurrection or Summon Monster. Let's grab that Summon Monster 7 now. And remember, these are going to be the monsters that not only matter to you, but it also matters in alignment you are. Since you are good, or basically not evil, you're not going to get the Red Caps or the Axiomites, those little evil motherfuckers, or the Soul Eaters. Sorry, not the Soul Eaters, but you'll get the Axiomites. You won't get the Red Caps, you'll get the Brelani Azadas. Those are the guys that literally zap out electric attacks all the fucking time, like they span Lightning Bolt. So be careful with that shit. We have spells already that can protect you and your team from electricity, making you damn near immune to it. So you should definitely do so before you start summoning some of those guys. Get familiar with that. Nice. Upgrade. 11. We're going to grab here at 11. At 11, we're going to grab ourselves Spell Focus time. Again, if you want to do the Cornigan Smash, Dazzling Display, Cornigan Smash, Share Defenses, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to grab still here. So you got Dazzling Display, Cornigan Smash, Share Defenses, Dreadful Carnage, and then it'd still leave you a Freet to do whatever the hell you want with. Blind Fight, for example. So you could totally do the Cleaving build and the Cornigan Smash, Share Defenses build, if you so choose. I'm just going to say, fuck it, let's actually be really good at Spell Focus Conjuration. So we're going to do that. Conjuration, thank you. As far as our senses buffs here, what we're going to grab for level 11, this is where I'm finally going to grab Channel. Your ability to literally channel energy and literally AoE heal your team or AoE damage undead is going to be extremely useful for you and your team. Obviously, damage undead in fights, heal your team outside of fights, because if you heal them in a fight, anything living will get healed, including the bad guys. There's a way around that. It's called Selective Channel. Guess what one of the feats coming up is going to be? Selective Channel. What are we going to grab here? Level 8 spell. On this one, for ones you're going to get for free, you already see Avenger's Blessing, Gale of Light, Sword Chain, Storm of Justice. We're also going to get for free, there we go, Rift of Ruin, Mass Cure Critical Wounds, and Mass Heal, which is again something that should be at level 9, but we're getting it at level 8. That's kind of cool. So what are we going to grab in this list? Well, in this list, I like Frightful Aspect for its ability to make us bigger, stronger, scarier, all that jazz. Again, sets up the shaking condition. So again, you don't technically need Cornigan Smash. You don't technically need Dreadful Carnage. You have spells that will frighten or shaken targets. So that's solid, and again, another way for you to kind of recoup some of these feats that I'm grabbing here. If you don't really feel it, just get yourself Dazzling, Display, and Shatter Defenses, and that's all you really need, because your spells can add the fear effect to yourself. Frightful Aspect, that was just one of the choices. The other choice that I had here was also Greater Angelic Aspect up here, and of course Summon Monster 8 with held down there. Having said that, on this list, Stormbolt's is good, Soul Reaver's decent, and you may say, well, we got Shield of Law and all these other buffs like Holy Aura spells or Cloak of Chaos type spells that are buffs. We have spells that are going to mimic those. In fact, the Holy Aura, the Angelic Aura that you have, can mimic this effect, and all it has to do is be on, which can be permanent. So there's no reason for you to cast a spell if you can get it for free. Firestorm, though, is a solid choice. Death Clutch is decent. Why do I like Greater Angelic Aspect? Well, let's talk about this, even though I'm not going to take this one right now. This one can be simulated by a lot of the things that you have already anyway. However, what can't be simulated easily anyway is the DR10/Evil, which is a solid protection buff from physical attacks. Remember, you're in the front ranks. Why would you want to take full damage from bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage? And it's very unlikely that the bad guys you're fighting will all have evil weapons or evil category weapons, which is what the /evil means. Excuse me. But better than that is your immunity to acid, your immunity to cold, some electric and fire resistance besides. Saves versus poison doesn't matter because you're going to be immune to poisons by this point with spells anyway. But you also get that protective aura. That's a deflection-based aura for you and your team. That's a +4 armor class bump against all attacks, not just against evil or chaotic. So it's kind of like a souped-up version of protection from evil, or protection from alignment, I should say, in that it works against all alignments, and it's a saving throw against bonus against evil creatures at least. So a solid protection buff. But why am I grabbing instead of that? Why am I grabbing? What's my choice here? Frightful Aspect first. Again, we already have. Where to go? Legendary Proportions. So if you're already finding these dinosaur bones and buying a bunch and everything, this provides you almost all the same buffs that Frightful Aspect gives you. The difference being, Frightful Aspect gives you a little bit more as far as the shaken condition and the fear effect and all that fun stuff. Gives you DR10/magic, where Legendary Proportions over here gives you the same thing, but instead of DR10/magic, it's DR10/adamantine. And remember, those don't stack, but they're layers of protections. It's much like that Greater Angelic Aspect where I said that's DR10/evil. So now we have 3 different categories. We have magic weapons, adamantine weapons, and evil weapons. Could all those be on the same weapon? Sure. It's routine that an adamantine weapon is also magical. It's also good that, or common, I'd say, that evil weapons are also magical. So again, are they all 3? It's less likely. It's not to say it couldn't happen, but the point is if I have DR10 against all those 3 categories from 3 different spells on at the same time, it's more likely than not that I'm absorbing 10 points of damage from all incoming attacks, physical attacks. So some layers of protection that you can have here. It's another reason why I like this. A Frightful Aspect, again, the fact that you can shake in them, again, is another big boon for you, and it gives you more than just that. There's like Legendary Proportion, I think, makes you clumsy. No, it doesn't say anything about lowering your dexterity. So maybe it's size category. It's a bigger size category. So Legendary Proportions, you're actually 2 size categories larger than a Large Person or Frightful Aspect or Righteous Might would give you. Those 3 spells make you 1 size category bigger. Legendary Proportion means you're even bigger, which means your weapon does even more damage and your reach is even better. It's basically like the difference between you're as big as a giant versus you're as big as a goddamn dinosaur. So Legendary Proportions if you really want to get big. Alright, level 12. Again, another charisma point. Again, we'll put points down here. Great Weapon Focus now for free. And again, go with whatever weapon you've been going with all this time. In my case, it's Bardiche. What we're going to get for level 7 spell now. Again, I said I like Resurrection, so let's go ahead and take that. Wanted that Greater Angelic Aspect. Sure, let's take that now. Back out of here. Now that we're level 12, we can be level 6 Mythic Rank, let's pretend. What we're going to grab for level 6 Mythic Rank. We are grabbing Weapon Focus Mythic. See this down here? Because we just unlocked Greater Weapon Focus for our Bardiche, and we already had Weapon Focus for our Bardiche. That's a +1 and a +2 to our swing. Now we've doubled both those bonuses. Now we're at a +4 to our swing instead of +2, using our weapon of choice. And again, it doesn't have to be the Bardiche, whatever weapon you choose, but this is locked into it at this point. From here, I like Grand Blessing. And this is because it maximizes the bonus to damage that we got to our weapon, as well as the healing that our weapon provides for us. That's a big boon. Having it be just straight maximized. That's not all your spells or anything like that. Just that Sword of Heaven has that effect where you literally spells abilities while using hold imbued weapons deal an additional 2 dice of damage or heal an additional 2 dice of damage. So again, we can get some extra healing from that, and that holy damage instead of being 2d6 now becomes 2d12. Or sorry, 2d12. 2d6 becomes 12 guaranteed. There we go. So again, I do like Grand Blessing. Know that we are going to get either Abolish Undeath or the one that's for demons, which isn't here yet, later. But if you wanted that Abolish Death earlier, you could convince me of grabbing that now. It's actually quite cool. And again, having you be someone that's really good at killing undead kind of makes sense thematically to me. Level 9 spells. Now we're talking. Last spells we need to talk about. You're going to get Overwhelming Presence for free. You're going to get Heroic Invocation, which isn't even on the list, for free. And then, of course, we got all these spells that we got for free. Notice Fortress of the Faithful, the AoE version of Aegis of the Faithful. Hour-long buff. Again, we're going to turn that into a 24-hour buff for you and your team here real soon. That's an amazing upgrade for you and your friends. Sun Form is a nice buff for you, where you can like shoot laser beams out your fingers. Wrath of the Righteous. Name of the game. How do you not get this spell when it shows up? So again, free spell. Gotta love it. Bring back, again, another reason we didn't necessarily need to have the resurrection spell, because we have the ability now to just bring people back that way. But again, I'm fine with having double castings of the same type of stuff. Notice that mass heals here again, even though we got it for free back here. So again, if you want mass heal, you can grab it here. There's nothing wrong with that. I do like Polar Midnight. There's actually no wrong spell here, other than the fact that, again, Overwhelming Presence is free, and we already have mass heal at level 8, so we don't technically need it again. We're only going to get, 3 spells at this level, so Energy Drain is a solid choice for me. Summon Monster 9, of course, is a solid choice, and Winds of Vengeance is a solid choice. If any of those don't speak to you, feel free to grab Polar Midnight or Mass Heal. Again, your choice. But, again, you can't have everything, so just pick something and run with it. I'm going to grab Winds of Vengeance, and this one's kind of weird. It gives us a nice buff to our ground speed, making you super zippy. And this is not impeded in any way, supposedly, by your armor, which is bullshit lie. I still had a -10 penalty from my armor. But again, we have now effortless armor, so again, I can make that penalty go away. The total concealment, that's a 50% miss chance against ranged attacks coming to you. That's a really, really nice buff for you. Or penalty for them, however you want to look at it. Gaseous and most gaseous breath weapon attacks you're immune to, because it won't go through it. It basically gives you your own little pocket of air that you can breathe. So if you forget to buff yourself with that, and again, someone tries to hit you with some cloud kill, shouldn't affect you. Notice this part here where when people try to hit us with melee attacks, we literally can reshape the wind and basically smack them around and throw them around, which is kind of badass. Just a generic thing that I kind of thought was kind of cool. Okay, let's go to level 13. Boom, boom, boom. What we're going to grab here at 13, we are grabbing Selective Channel. We got it before, but you couldn't grab this Selective Channel here because you didn't have Channel till this level. And it won't let you go backwards. So literally go Spell Focus Conjuration, Channel, level 13, grab your Selective Channel. Now we can actually heal AoE style the team in combat, or we don't have to worry about it. Just fire that shit off. So all those channelings that you have, just boom, 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 constant healing of your team. Really pisses off the bad guy. Level 8 spell. We're going to grab this level. Do we are some monster yet? No. Let's grab it. Level 9 spell. I'm missing my summon monster here. Let's grab that one as well. Ooh. Level 14. Let's grab that Energy Drain. Polar Midnight. Let's do some Polar Midnight. Just have some fun. Now we're going to back out of here and grab our level 7 Mythic Rank. What we're going to grab now. We got Halo upgrade. Improved Angelic Halo over here. This is now an aura for you and your team instead of just you. Mythic ability that we're going to grab now. And of course, a better summoning. It's a Diva. What we're going to grab at this level. We're going to grab 7 Enduring Spells, which we already grabbed. So now we can grab greater enduring spells. So now any spell that you have that can get upwards of 5-minute buffs or better can be a 24-hour buff now. We can get improved upon casting if you'd rather. Something that we're going to get before too long anyway. But again, I don't mind greater enduring spells, getting those buffs up to last longer. You're a buff bot at this point. And here I'm also going to grab Solar Winds. Again, there's no wrong answer here, but I like this one because, again, while the Halo's out, your team is getting protected from Fire, Cold, Acid, Electric, and a little bit against Sonic and Negative Energy, and a little bit against Force, Unholy, Holy, and Divine. So again, there's a variety of things that are getting buff from incoming damage from elemental types. We're going to go here. This is Oracle 15. We're going to get Greater Spell Focus Conjuration at this point. Make those conjuration spells really land. Now this is where we're getting into some interesting stuff. Now this is where I don't mind grabbing either. Oh, it's not Combat Healer. No, it was Enhanced Cures. There's only 2 left to pick. You're going to get Enhanced Cures either at this level or the next one. At 19, that's a long way to wait. Or you can grab Spirit Boost now or grab Spirit Boost later. Now let me explain what Spirit Boost does. When you heal somebody, especially if they don't need to be healed, you heal them anyway. How much healing you would have done gets added to them as temp HP. Now, it only lasts for 1 round per level of our Oracle level, but again, we're at Oracle level 30 by the end of this. Well, 20, I should say. I take that back. So it should only last for 2 minutes. But this actually does work on the spell called Heal. And I assume then, therefore, works for Mass Heal. So now imagine this, where you and your team can have upwards of 150, or I think you can get all the way up to like 300 temp HP for like 2 minutes. Just start the fight off with a heal or a mass heal on you and your team, and everyone walks in with 300 extra fucking HP. That's an amazing upgrade. Now that can wait until 19 if you so choose, and then you just get the better healing over here, the Enhanced Cures. But I still maintain that Spirit Boost probably first, then Enhanced Cures last. 16, more Charisma, get those points. Done. Notice we're not picking any spells now. Back out of here, grab another Mystic level. Angel, level 8. We're going to grab level 8. We're going to grab ourselves Spell, Focus, Mythic, Conjuration. Double the DC check now of all those 2 feats we just grabbed. So Spell Focus and Greater Spell Focus are up by 2 more points total. So we got a +4 to our Conjuration spells for DC checks now. And again, maxed out our Charisma. For over here, again, this was the Demon Bane I was talking about. You can grab that. I wouldn't grab it now. I'd grab it here. Why? Because Speed of Light's here. This is the one that you really want. This one really makes you a monster when it comes to the battlefield. 2 extra attacks around, with it working with our Everlasting Flame being at least a 10-minute buff by the end of the build, with greater enduring spells. If it still works like it should, then that's a 24-hour buff. So again, going from 3 attacks around to 5 attacks, melee attacks around, is very, very powerful, especially when the first 3 of those attacks are at full base attack bonus for you. Again, you will appreciate Speed of Light. Moving on, level 17, grab all these guys again. We're going to grab for our feats here. Now's where we grab our summon upgrades. So we got Augmented Summoning and Superior Summoning, the last 2 feats you're going to grab. These are not necessary. Again, if you wanted to grab that Shattered Defenses, Dazzling Display, that can be fit in here somewhere. But since we are summoning, why not have the summoning speed tougher? It's a solid upgrade. Level 18. Again, no spells that we're picking, as you can see. Back out here, we're getting our Mythic Angel. What we're going to grab here, this is our level 9. So we've got Greater Enduring Spells. We already grabbed that one already, so I'm missing my Improved Abundant Casting, which is this guy here. So now extra 4 spells for level 4, level 5, and level 6. That's 12 more spells a day. Keep going for your level up. 19, last feat pick for you. And this is where we get our Superior Summoning. Here, and that's so when you summon more than 1, you get an extra 1. So if there's a chance for more than 1, it's always 1 there. So when your summons are 1 to 3 of these guys, it's actually 1 to 3 plus 1. So minimum of 2, maximum of 4. If you can summon only 1, whether it's the divas that they're giving us, or like summon elemental, where you only summon 1 elemental, this doesn't do a goddamn thing. For here, this is where we're getting our last upgrade. So we're going to grab that Enhanced Cure now. This is where it takes away the cap. This is, again, how we can heal ourselves for so much more, and then anything that's carried over, thanks to this little bad boy, will give us temp HP for a decent amount of time. And there's other stuff in here that's of value. Iron Skin, the ability to literally give yourself the equivalent of Stone Skin as a spell-like ability multiple times a day, is a decent upgrade for you. But it's still one of those where we already have spells that can mimic this or something similar, so it's not really necessary to me. Combat healer, the ability to like use cure spell. We already talked about that, but there's also safe curing where attacks of opportunity can't happen while you're trying to heal a teammate. That's something of value, I suppose. Life sense is another one where you literally have blind sight out to 30 feet just by default because you can just sense the living, I suppose. Kind of weird, but you know, whatever. But I do like the enhanced cures, personally speaking. Level 20, last charisma bump, lots of spells a day. I mean, look at that, 12, 12, 12, 11, 11, 11. That's, again, 12 extra from this, 12 extra from this, thanks to abundant casting and improved abundant casting. The last feat we have, since there's nothing else I really care about, I can totally grab the greater abundant casting and get these up another 4, 4, and 4. So I would finish that at an 11, a 10, and a 10. And that's a lot of goddamn spells a day, dude. I think you'll appreciate this build. And then now we've capped out, so mobility's at a solid 3. That's only if we want to fight defensively. You are a tank, and it doesn't look like it, but you're wearing full plate armor in this build, or something similar. You'll have a solid reach weapon. You are a meleeer. You have buffs. You are strong as son of a bitch, and will make you even stronger with spells and gear. Bonus to your lore religion. Your wisdom sucks. That's the only thing that's really keeping this down. Perception is solid. Again, the only thing keeping this down again is your wisdom being bad. We've got a bonus to persuasion though, because again your charisma is awesome, and having this reach 20 and that's being a plus 30, and there's ways to make this even higher. Your use magic device, there's no green check mark, but we managed to finish with a solid plus 16 over here thanks to your high charisma. And since you're going to be a charisma based character, you assume that you're going to get charisma gear, which means this 16 and this 30 are definitely going higher because your charisma stat's going to go higher with the gear you're going to get. So again, the chances that you can cast spells from wands and from scrolls, it's unlikely you're going to fail those checks, or at least not fail them often. And we have spells that can buff all your skills, which include, of course, those skills. So again, your use magic device is doing real good. We're done there. Notice that we even got something called Foresight. This is once a day thing that we got for part of our backgrounds. I want to say it's the battlefield background. That battlefield background allows us to cast this spell once a day. And again, it is a spell-like ability, but it still behaves like an actual spell. What does that mean? Remember our enduring spells and greater enduring spells works on this. So 24-hour buff where you are no longer able to be caught flat-footed, period. And that's nice for someone that's in the front ranks. And you get a nice +2 insight bonus to armor class and reflexes. Again, not a common category. Insight is very rare, much like sacred. So again, more armor, better reflexes, you'll appreciate all these things, and that's just a nice 24-hour buff for you. And here's our AoE heals / damaging of undead. Honestly, we should probably though just rest to show you how many you would actually have. 8 and 8. Again, that's not great, but I want to say that's based off of your wisdom, so maybe that's why it's so low. If you have more wisdom, that might be more, or maybe it's more charisma that'll make that go higher. Close to Heaven, that's our ray spell. That's the one we can use to either A, heal, or B, damage. So depending if we're trying to hit a teammate or if we're trying to shoot somebody. Notice at level 2 for picking this, we also became immune to petrification, free of charge, which is a fucking nice upgrade. And of course all our summons. Here's of course your other halo. Shut this one off. So here's your Aesmer halo, and then here's your other halo. You can have both on. You probably should, because the Aesmer halo actually does give you a bonus to saves against blinded or dazzled conditions. This one though gives you so much more. I mean, we're getting like a retarded amount of armor class from just having that thing on, and a bonus to saves besides. So if I look at that over here, you see your halo's holy aura. That's another reason why we didn't need that spell, because it mimicked it with the halo. +4 deflection bonus. You should probably even see it in your saving throws here. +4, +4, +4. And again, notice our other final revelation, another +7. That's coming from our charisma being high. Now that's a separate category because of our, I want to say, our battle mystery. That's our level 20 upgrade. One of the things we get for being a level 20 battle oracle. So that's a nice little upgrade there. We cast that other spell on us that can use our charisma modifier for our saving throws, our bestowed grace of the champion, I think is what it was called. This could go up to a 19, a 21, and I think it still even works on this one, so that could go up to a 29. So your saving throws are really, really going to be high. We're not done yet. We still have one Mythic Rank still to finish with. And again, we're here. Now, again, in this list, first let's talk about what's in this list and how we're not going to pick anything from here. I'm actually going to go extra mythic ability. But in this list, if you wanted something in here, School Mastery, no, that's not it. Mythic Channeling, this could be of value for you. When we're trying to heal or kill somebody, we do more damage or heal more damage depending on twice our charisma bonus. So the higher your charisma stat, you'll get a little extra healing on top of it or extra damage, depending on which one you're trying to do. I don't particularly care about that. Brew Mythic Potions. Again, you are the healer of the team. Being able to brew potions up to level 6 is a solid choice, but the thing that I think is missing from this, and doesn't say there's a requirement for it, I still maintain it's probably a mistake. Brew Potions is a feat, and you see how Mythic Channeling never showed up until we actually had Selective Channel. Same with Improved Critical, never showed up until we had the Improved Critical feat. I'm betting that this is probably something that's been bug reported where people say, hey, this shouldn't be on this list until you get Brewed Potions as a feat, which you do not have. If that's the case, then this would be a terrible pick because you're not going to be able to get it. Flawless Attacks, on the other hand, is a solid choice. Having your -5, -10, and -15 attacks, if you want that high for an attack bonus, which you won't get, but the -5, -10 is definitely in your purview, would drop to a -4, -8. More likely you'll hit, but again, we already have 2 extra main attacks thanks to Speed of Light, so we're hitting at full attack bonus 3 times in a row. My phone agrees. And then you're going to get 2 follow-up attacks, your -5 and your -10. So if those whiff, I'm not really caring. You could convince me that Destructive Shockwave is worth it, where if you miss with a melee attack, you still get your strength bonus to damage them. And again, we're going to push your strength high, high, high with lots and lots of spells and gear. So that's a value. But, again, Emergency Potion is a solid choice too. But having said all that things, I really like extra Mythic ability because it allows me to grab that last thing we're missing, those extra 12 spells. In here, if I want to go for something completely different than that, the only other thing that smacks to me of being of value to you that you should probably look at is Boundless Healing again. Again, we already have that equivalent to that, but the one thing it does do, again, we get the ability to reach those spells. We could also do a Beneficial Curse. These are the different curses that we didn't have. Yeah, we're the Plague version is one we are. What this one does is it gives you all the bonuses and none of the minuses. This is a reason to grab Blacken. See how it's a penalty to weapon attack rolls? We don't want that. But we could have gotten for free by taking this thing. We could have gotten, Burning Hands, Scorching Ray, and Burning Arc. 2 spells we don't have right now. Fire Snake, which we don't have. And Hellfire Ray, which we did pick up. So I wouldn't pick up Hellfire Ray. I'd grab something else. So this could have been a solid choice for you. We could have gone any of these other ones too, but again, I don't really care. Ascendant Summons is a solid choice for you. You do have summons, and we do have buffs to our summons. Why not get them even more of a buff to Strength, Dex, and Con, and now Wisdom and Charisma besides, and they can penetrate some damage reduction. Some serious fun to have here. We could do a Descendant Element. You'd have to find out what spells you do more damage types that you have. Probably Fire, but that doesn't mean anything. Again, if we went for the Stone build, again, there's a lot of Acid spells. So when you get an Acid Element where literally they're not immune and there's no resistances, is a solid choice, specifically because the 2 things you worry about for bad guys when you're attacking them with an elemental type is resistances, immunities is one. This would negate that for this type of damage. And then the other is spell resistance. Well, guess what? Routinely doesn't have spell resistance associated with it. Acid spells. So again, if you wanted to make those demon motherfuckers just take damage, this could be a solid way to go if you went the stone life route instead of the battle life, which is what I have. Other stuff. Where was my... There is a... It's not in here. There's one that's missing that they've added, and I don't see it. Let me go through slowly to make sure I'm just not missing it. There's a one that they've added that's not on this list, but should be here. It's another healing one. He's an emergency healer or something like that. This should be in the E category, but it's not here, which means it was probably here at this level. But now that I'm going an extra mythic ability to grab stuff that should be in this category, it's not showing up. But there's like an emergency healer one that allows you to teleport to like a teammate, like a few times a day or 2 times a day, and then as a swift action, heal them. Which again, as a battle cleric, that's be an awesome upgrade for you to just be like, oh fuck, someone's taking it on the chin. Boop, I'm over here. Here's a massive heal for you. Bam. And I think it empowers and maximizes those heals for like 2 rounds after or some shit, like the first heal you kick off or something like that. So that could be of value, but we didn't do that. I'm going to grab, again, Greater Abundant Casting because, again, I like extra spells. Last thing to grab here is your Sword of Heaven upgrade, the Greater Sword of Heaven upgrade specifically. Again, no wrong answer here. Again, I like Abolish Undeath. Demon Bane is still waiting for you here. Overwhelming Flames is a solid choice. There's just no real wrong answer here, I mean, per se. But again, I like the ones that damage a specific target. So demons that we're definitely going to fight, or undeath that we're definitely going to have to deal with. These are solid choices in my estimation. So again, up to you. And that's that. Just to show you the quick rest. Let's remove all the buffs and then reapply them. So you would have charge ability. This would be how I would normally set up my character. Fighting defensively here. Get all that shit out of here. Just to show you how many different things you're going to have to click on, man. You got like a retarded amount of stuff. Then we'll go over your buffs. This is your lesser restoration you got for being the type of Asimar you are. Remember, if you were the stone, the Oriad build where you went stone life mysteries, you wouldn't get that. You'd get like color spray or something else for free. Here's your cleave ability. Remember, you do have power attack. You should always leave that on, in my estimation anyway. Here's our channeling ability. So one's going to be for AoE healing, and one damaging undead. So the blue colors for damaging undead, the yellow ones for healing your team. Once you have selective channel, you can cast this like so, and do that in combat, and you won't have to worry about healing the bad guys. Same with casting this one in combat. You never have to worry about damaging you or your teammates undead. So if you had like a Necrolord or something on your team, you could totally have that route. Here's your Sword of Heaven. Let's see what else we got here. Here's a Close to Heaven. This is a Ray ability where you can shoot a teammate and heal them, or shoot at a bad guy and damage them. So your choice 12 times a day. That's not bad. Different summons, of course. I won't have to pull those down here. But here's our Foresight ability. You definitely want that little goober. I don't know why that one's not recharging. Our Halos. Again, we want both those on. Sword of Holy Damage. Whenever Sword of Heaven is active, this ability allows the angel to transform all damage dealt by the angel into holy damage. So this would be literally a toggle you can turn on. So when I do this, buff whatever weapon, in this case our Bardiche, making it a badass weapon. And notice the upgrade here is literally 24 hours. So it then is certainly currently working for greater enduring spells on this, which is a nice upgrade. Having said that though, fire damage is now holy damage. Cold damage is now holy damage. You get the idea. So if you want that off, you want to leave that in your trade to remind you to turn that shit off. Other stuff. I suppose at this point I might as well grab a healer too down here, or summon down here, like that. Halos will always be on. If you don't see the halo, you better turn that shit back on. And they do show up at least down here. As far as your spells, I'm not going to go over the list with you over here, but I'm going to put in some of the buff spells that I wrote down are for solid upgrades, where we're talking armor upgrades slash attack bonus upgrades is the stuff I'm going to focus on. So I'm not going to show you a lot of the spells that are just like, oh, and you're immune to poisons, and you're immune to disease. You know you have them, use them. But again, like Shield of Faith is a solid upgrade. Bless is a terrible upgrade, but it's there. Enlarged Person is an upgrade, despite you not thinking about it. Divine Favor is a good upgrade, and it's still useful even past the point when you get Divine Power. Because remember, you know that Divine Power will last you 2 minutes. Actually, no, Divine Power will last you 3 minutes, because again, it goes off your caster level, and your caster level is 30. This one is 1 minute and done. But again, notice with your upgrade, the weapon upgrade. Sorry, something I need to show you. Notice how if I look at your spells, see how you have standard action, standard action, standard action for all your spells here, levels 8 and 9. Notice at level 7, we start getting stuff that's swift action. Swift action. Swift action. Why, brother? Well, one of the upgrades that we got, I forget to mention it to you. One of your upgrades for either your Halo or your weapon, the Sword of Heaven, gave us the ability to cast spells level 7 on down as swift action. Think about what I just said there. Swift action for all your spells. And if anything, because of that, if you wanted to get rid of something on this list, now you don't really need Sorcerer's Reflex. Why do I say that? Well, because again, that gave you a swift action for one spell and one spell only at the start of every fight. So early levels, this is useful. I forget where it kicks in, where you suddenly become, it's probably this one right here, yeah, Speed of Light. So that's way down the pipe. I mean, look at that, way level 4 versus level 8 Mythic Path. But again, if you're not loving it because of this, and there's something else you wanted to grab, again, we could have grabbed like Improved Abundant Casting sooner. Because remember, just so I got Greater Abundant Casting here, I could have grabbed Improved Abundant Casting here. I could have got Enduring Spells here, and then I could have got Greater Enduring Spells there. Again, however you want to shuffle this shit around is up to you. But again, know that Speed of Light really turns you into a monster. Because of that, every spell that you have level 7 on down is just a swift action now. It just becomes just ungodly. So fights just start, and it's like, click, I'm buffed. You know, so again, you're going to be very quickly a monster on the battlefield. So again, let's just turn these things back on. Again, you don't have to fight defensively, but that's the reason I gave you 3 mobility points, was because now you get an extra armor bump. Instead of +2, you get +3 to your armor while fighting defensively. Other stuff that we have here in buffs to talk about. Bull strength, technically, it's not that big of a deal, but early levels it is. And again, it's there. Effortless armor is not a buff per se, but it is something worth putting in your tray. Same with flying traps, it's a buff per se, but only for perception, and again, it's only against traps. So we'll ignore it for now. Level 3, protection from energy, a buff, but again, only a buff from energy resistance, but magical vestment. And here's where I need to talk to you about the fact that we could have gone sword and board, or something similar. You do have skill with a shield. So, not a tower shield, but you have the ability to rock a fucking heavy shield if you wanted to. Magical vestment shield and magical vestment armor both work. They are upwards of, it says level 20 you get a +5. There's no cap on these. Because we're level 30, remember our caster level's 30, we'll actually get this for a 30-hour buff, and we'll get a +7 to your armor, or a +7 to your shield bonus. You have to be wielding a shield to do it. You have to be wielding an armor, or at least a piece of robe, to do the armor upgrade, magical vestment. Which, of course, you will do. You'll have, like, plate mail on, probably. So, you could have had extra 14 armor points here from casting this spell on yourself twice if you went sword and board. Just to put that out there. Again, you don't have the best reach, but remember, when you get a bigger reach, or a bigger size category, your normal melee reach weapons, like daggers and short swords, and even long swords, now become reach weapons. They're just not very good reach weapons. They just are better, because you're bigger, they reach farther. Of course, your Bardiche, which is already a reach weapon, or a long spear, or a Fauchard, I think is another one. Or is it the Falchion? I think it's the Fauchard. And then the Glaive are all reach weapons from default. You get bigger, enlarged person, righteous might, legendary proportions, frightful aspect, any of those spells that make you bigger, they become even better reach weapons. That's kind of the goal. So that's why I didn't go sword and board. But you can totally do that shit. And again, there's nothing stopping you from doing it now. So if you really need to turtle up for a fight and you're like, Jesus, I'm getting my ass handed to me, and boy, if I had only like 7, 8, 9 more points of fucking armor, well, why don't you switch to your sword and board? You get your Holy Avenger fucking weapon out, sword and board it for a while with that nice heavy shield +5 that you have, and then buff it with this, and buff your armor with this. You get a +7 and a +7 by the end of this build. That's 14 armor points, 7 of which you had, 7 that you didn't. So you can see the appeal. Other stuff that's in here, again, we have our neutralized poison now. Where is it at? Shield of Demonkind. Notice how this gives the deflection bonus to armor class equal to 2 + 1 per 6 caster level. It's the exact same definition as Shield of Faith. That's the spell we had way the hell right here. That's why I said this spell isn't necessary, because you know you're going to get this one. But it's a long road to hoe to unlock this. Because you need to get to Mythic Rank 3 to unlock Angel to even get this bastard. So I said, you know what, I'd still rather have it. At this point, though, again, once you unlock this, there's nothing stopping you from respeccing and getting rid of that spell. Just tedious. You have to rebuild into it, which is a super pain in the ass. But you can cycle that one out and get a different spell, something you appreciate. Maybe you want that inflict light wound spell. There's reasons to want it. Feel free. Maybe you have undead on the team that you want to heal. That would be a way to heal them. So again, whatever. But this is a nice upgrade. This one here, again, immunity to disease for a decent amount of time. Again, doesn't have to be cast on you. It's a nice upgrade. Archon's Aura. Well, this is not a buff. It's a debuff for the bad guys, but it's basically the same thing. Penalty to their swing is a bonus to your armor class. A bonus or penalty to their armor class is a bonus to your swing, as far as I'm concerned. So again, there's a lot of reasons to want that as a buff. Other stuff that you have in here. Let's see. No. Nope. This is the reason, this spell here is the reason I didn't need Cleanse, just to point this out to you. You heal yourself 1d8 per caster level. It's a level 4 spell. Cleanse is a level 5 spell. It doesn't heal as much. And removes any negative effects on yourself. I don't know that that means like diseases and poisons and blindness and curses and whatever else, but it sounds like it is, right? So this would be an amazing spell that would kind of replace Cleanse. Other stuff. Again, here's your AoE wards. Ward against impurity. Notice that it's not just diseases and poisons like this guy was. This one's just diseases. This one's diseases and poisons. This is what makes delayed poison useless now. And immunity to nausea and sicking condition. Again, 2 other things that you're immune to. And again, they just continually get better from there. Here's Greater Magic Weapon, something that you would definitely buff with until you find a +5 weapon that's your favorite weapon. Anytime that your teammates don't have a +5 weapon, though, this should be cast on them, whether it's the main hand or the offhand, your choice. So if they're 2 weapon wielders, like Knock Knock back from Kingmaker's days, this is an amazing upgrade. Freedom of movement, again, it's not it's a buff spell, but it's not a buff spell. It's giving you extra armor or anything like that. But it's worth mentioning because, again, being immune to paralysis in and of itself is just fucking amazing. Here's your mass enlarged person. That doesn't matter, but it's there. Divine Power is a solid buff. Remember, it doesn't stack with Divine Favor because, again, they're both luck bonuses. So keep track of your bonuses. We have morale bonuses. We got luck bonuses. We got enhancements. This is not an enhancement to armor, despite what it says in the tooltip. This one is under its own separate category. So if I had a plate mail +5 on and I cast this on that plate mail, it wouldn't just go up 2 more points because +7 is the biggest bonus I have. No, it would actually be another +7. So it'd be +5 from the armor, +7 for the magical vestment. So it'd be literally, you are getting all that buff. What else? Oh, sorry, not done yet. Death Ward, well, again, well, not a buff for any kind of real armor or anything like that. Bonuses to saves and immunity to energy drain and negative energy effects is of value. We also have Cleansing Flame, again, another one that can damage your team but also damage enemies even more. For your team, though, while it does damage them, it will allow you to heal them from a variety of effects. Kind of this AoE version of Cleanse, hence the name Cleansing Flames. I don't know if that works on you, but it doesn't damage you. I don't think so. I would assume no. We got, again, Ward Against Harm. Again, another upgrade. So not just immunity to nausea and sicken, disease and poison, but now ability damage and ability drain. So when someone's trying to suck your strength off or whatever for any variety of ways, now you're basically immune to that effect now. Got me some nice flame strike. Where's our other buffs though? Righteous Might is a buff. Notice how it goes from DR5 to DR10. So again, we talked about this for stacking. Remember, it's not 10 and 10 and 10 make 30. No, it's 10 or 10 or 10. So again, whichever one kicks in, at least one of them kicking in gives you that DR10. So this is one protects you against evil because you're a good character. We get more strength, we get more con. Penalty to dex, so this is like enlarged person on crack. It's nice buff, solid character, and again, extra armor, which again, you'll appreciate as well. It's in there somewhere. +2 form to your natural armor. That's not natural armor enhancement, that's natural armor, which stacks with everything. We get a better sized weapon, of course, like all enlarged type spells like this one is. So your weapon will do even more damage just because of that. Again, it's a two-handed weapon. Because we're increasing our strength, we get even more strength damage bonus, better swing. Because we're bigger, though, it's harder to hit targets. So again, we'll have a penalty to our swing and to our armor as well. So they kind of offset each other a little bit, but you will do more damage. You will feel it. Other stuff to talk about, again, no real armor here, but spell resistance. And again, an amazing upgrade. Level 6, you're going to get spells like Aegis of the Faithful. And of course, at level like 7, 8, or 9, there's like an AoE version of this. But again, shield spell you don't have access to, and you can't wield a shield in this form, as I mentioned before. So +4 your armor that way. Shield of Faith, again, a spell that we could have replaced because we're getting this access to this spell, this Aegis of the Faithful, and spells similar to it. So again, deflection armor +7. Protection from arrows, a garbage spell, but it's there. Displacement, though, hey man, I'll take that, and that's a 24-hour buff. Best case scenario for us. This is an amazing upgrade. And then, of course, resistance to all the 5 different elements. So fire, cold, electric, acid, and sonic, which is rare for them to give that to you. So it's really a nice upgrade right there, all in one spell. And again, we can make that not perma, but a 24-hour buff. 11 castings a day. We got 6 people and some pets on the team. I can pretty much cover everybody with that spell and be fucking happy. Holy Hymn. Again, this is the one that counters when I didn't take prayer. But Holy Hymn is a luck bonus. So again, will not stack with Divine Power per se. However, remember, Divine Power is a +2 to do attack and damage and strength checks and athletics checks and temp HP and an extra attack around and blah, blah, blah. But this one is attack, weapon, damage. Again, reasons it won't stack. But saves, Divine Power didn't do that. Skill checks, Divine Power only buffs athletics. So this is across the board. So again, a solid buff, and it's for not just you, it's for your team. And it's also a penalty to the bad guys. Also, notice there's no save. There is spell resistance, but again, your spell check, man, for your spell penetration, remember, your caster level fucking 30 at the end of this build. You have a really good chance of penetrating spell resistance without even grabbing spell pin or greater spell pin or things of that nature. And we have an aura, thanks to our halo, that's on all the damn time, right? That lowers their spell resistance and their saving throws. So again, lots and lots of fun to be had here with this type of stuff. communal versions of spell, more protection spells. Now we're protected from fatigue and exhaustion, being immune to those now, and as well as everything else we were immune to a moment ago. Eagle's Soul, again, the reason you have to be good, in my opinion, is to cast this spell. Sacred bonus to armor, sacred bonus to strength, some protection from acid and fire, which is lame, bonus to your intimidation checks, regeneration, bonus to initiative checks. Remember, your initiative checks, you get to roll 3 separate fucking times now and take the better of the 3 results. Heal spell, which I'm going to show you that little trick here in just a moment. Radiant ground, blah blah blah. What we got here? Sun marked. Target's attacks deal additional holy damage. Very nice. So literally you can buff ourselves or teammate with this one, or we could see any creature striking the target in melee deals normal damage, but also takes 1d6 of fire damage plus 1 per caster level. So basically, it's like the damaging aura spell. I just can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Is the dried sun spell, whatever the hell it's called. Point is you're doing damage when it's doing melee. Obviously, it wouldn't work on someone with a reach. It doesn't say that, but I would assume that's applicable. So if they had a reach weapon like we do, then they would not be subjected to that damage. But again, hey, we'll take it if they do take that damage. Other buffs. Bestow Grace of the Champion. This is the one that, again, gives us a charisma modifier to all our saves. So as you see down here, Bestow Grace of the Champion +7, +7, and look, it even stacks with the Final Revelation, which is also a charisma bonus. So we got charisma bonus on this one twice. Solid 29, and again, we've yet to give gear to this character to capitalize on that, but that's a solid upgrade. And of course, you're also immune to diseases or whatever and fear with this on you. Doesn't last long, but hey man, that 3-minute buff, and again, if we can do a Med Magic Rod on that, we might be able to get that into 6 minutes. With greater enduring spells, that should turn into a 24-hour buff. Certainly you can see the appeal, and the fact that you can cast it on anybody, but they have to be lawful good, is of value. Other stuff in here, and notice that this one's shaded out because we need the dinosaur bone, but again, amazing upgrade to your strength, your con, no penalty to dex, better armor, other stuff. Oh, your 2 size categories bigger, so your weapon category gets huge, your reach is amazing, you just become an ungodly monster. Of course, our summons and resurrections. Over here we'll have Avenger's Blessing. There's another AoE, a multiple casting spell built into one. We cast this spell and we get not only the equivalent of divine power on ourselves, but holy aura, which I said is the reason we didn't need holy aura, even though holy aura would last longer. Our angel halo, though, gives us this for free, so we don't even really need holy aura. I don't know why they give it to you in this spell then, but whatever. And greater heroism, again, a spell we don't have access to. Having that one, even though it only lasts for 1 round per caster level, again, there's ways that we might be able to make that 24-hour buff, so that's totally worth. But remember, that's a +4 to your swing, +4 all your skills, a bunch of shit besides. Divine Power is going to be like a +6 bonus to your swing, +6 bonus to your damage. Holy Aura is going to give you extra armor, saving throw bonuses besides. So again, that one spell covers a lot of things. And again, while this one's not a swift action because it's level 8 now, it's still a solid spell for you to cast and run into battle. And again, a reason for your Sorceress Reflex, I suppose. Other stuff. Frightful Aspect, again, another version that's extremely similar in a lot of ways to your Legendary Proportions. Better and worse, depending on how you look at it. It's a higher casting, so there's that, I suppose. But it does give the shaking condition that Legendary Proportions doesn't give you. Almost the same buffs. The DR is the same, except for this one's DR10/magic, whereas Legendary Proportions back here, I think, gives you DR10/adamantine. So there's that. And again, layers of protection, I suppose. But a solid upgrade. And again, I like that aura that scares the fuck out of everybody. Throw in something like Greater Angelic Aspect, where you literally are immune to acid and cold now, and some resistance to fire and electric. Again, some really good spells here. Level 9, the AoE version of your Aegis of Faithful. So the Fortress of the Faithful, again, an hour-long buff, which means, of course, we can buff the whole damn party for 24 hours. And you don't even need greater enduring spells for this one. This by itself, since it goes to 1 hour by default, enduring spells is enough to make this a 24-hour buff. Sun Form, again, another one that we could buff ourselves. What does this one do for us, though? Incorporeal. Well, that's awesome, which means I think we take like no damage from normal weapons and half damage from magic ones. Pretty decent. We can, as swift actions, can start zapping targets with like laser beams, like holy fire, so to speak. Other buffs. Winds of Vengeance, again, this is the one where we get our total concealment against ranged attacks. We fly faster, which means our ground speed's even quicker. So let's show you, and of course, Heroic Invocation is another buff spell, kind of akin to Greater Heroism, but different. But let's show you that trick. So let's get to where's heal. So remember how I had the ability to heal people, and anything that went over, I could add to myself for a certain amount of rounds. So here's our way of getting temp HP. Look, I'm at 193. 150 plus 193. That's what that did. And again, that's because it caps out at 150. Now, having said that, there's this, where is it at? Mass heal. Here you go. Mass heal doesn't cap out at 150. See how it goes at 250? So again, I could literally AoE heal everybody at the start of every fight. It's expensive. It's level 8 and, of course, level 9 spell if I grabbed the level 9 version, which I did not do. But I could have. And I could heal everybody at the start of the thing where they're not only topped off before every fight, but could have extra HP for many, many, many rounds. Not a bunch, but I think it's like 1 round per Mythic Rank level or something like that, so it'll only be like a minute. But still, for every fight, if you just wanted to make sure to top people off and go in, you know, guns a-blazing with full fucking health and then some. Yeah, it's a lot of fucking bad guys in the game, but there's not very many bad guys that have health that reaches into the 400s. Just saying, I think you'll like this build. Now, I know this video's gone on long enough, just to show you, like, maybe, like, one little fight. Let's get these guys busting out or whatever little problem they got going on here. Hey, that's my athletics check. What might we do? Let's just show you, like a random...
well, I don't... Yeah, things are looking grim enough.
Oh, I ain't know your business. Piss off. Damn that gamer don't. I don't care anymore. Let's go over here, loot crate, grab some stuff. I'll put on the cloak. Notice how, again, it's a resistance bonus, so I already have that from the Halo, so it's not even benefiting me. So you probably want to give that to a teammate. Again, I could sword and board it like she's doing right now. That is an option. Notice I just gave you the Cold Iron Bardiche, Cold Iron Glaive, just so you can see what they kind of look like. And of course the Cold Iron Long Spear. These are the 3 choices for martial weapons. This one's not even a martial weapon, it's a simple weapon. But again, if you went the route that I went, any of these would be a viable option for you to get your weapon focus, your greater weapon focus, and your improved critical. Notice how this is the only one that has the crit range of 19 and 20. This one here is a 20. So is this one, but they do 3 times the damage, where this one does 2 times the damage. We're at 17 to 20 because we have the improved critical for it, to an even better crit range. So we're not really crit fishing per se, but we're really good at it. So it's close enough for me, good enough for government work kind of thing. Let's go here and free this idiot. Catch her by killing somebody.
Who's there? Really?
Oh, no. Go to us. Keep coming. Let's go. Okay, now, let's first show you healing. If I had... Let's use this one here. Notice how the halo around me is very small, the circle. If I had the Boundless Healing, this circle would be bigger because I could shoot it as a ray spell, a reach effect. That's how you know that one is working as intended now. We didn't pick that one, but again, you could have. So if you wanted to heal from a distance, because again, remember, you're going to be up front. That doesn't mean that the people up front are the only ones taking damage. Maybe the archers in the back are getting pelted, and I don't want to retreat from the front battle lines to go heal that motherfucker in the back that's shooting with their arrow, bow and arrow. But I want to heal them because I don't want them to die. So I could shoot at a distance if I had Boundless Healing. That's that mythic ability we didn't take. So there's reasons to want that. But we do have spells that do have range. I'll say Breath of Life is one of them. Let's see if I can find it. Cleansing Flames is one. Cure Light Wounds. Breath of Life. Nope, no range on that. Really? Oh, I thought Breath of Life was a... Alright, Breath of Life is the one that you can bring them back from the dead if they haven't been dead for too long. Oh, there's a Gale of Life. It's like an AoE version of Breath of Life. That might have some distance to it. Let's take a look for that one. Here's a Radiant Ground, Wall of Light, some art. Keep serious. Where the hell are you? Storm Justice, Blessing, Gale of Light. There you go. Centered on me, but apparently it does have an AoE version of it, so I could heal multiple people. Hope that they're within that circle. It's not a very big circle. So there is that. I do like some of our conjuration spells that we got for free, just to point out some of my favorites, like the Rift of Ruin. Nice pit spell, one of the best pit spells in the game, and it's a conjuration spell, and there's no spell resistance to it, which is one of the reasons you love it. And our DC check is really, really good. I'm going to give myself a Dinosaur Bone, just so you can see. Let me use that one spell. That's this level 7 spell called Legendary Proportions. That's why you like Legendary Proportions, because your fucking reach on that shit is a fucking monster. So let's come over here.
Do not defeat
Let's
is
attack
not
those
an
bad guys
option.
and see how far my reach is. I probably can reach them from all the way back here. And remember, we have the improved cleaving finish, which is just going to make you reach everything in a big fucking circle and just start mowing shit down. Everything you kill, you're going to swing at something else. Everything you kill, you're going to swing at something else. It's going to be multiple attacks in a round. And the fact that you can start, just to remind you of your build at the beginning here, we get not only power attack early, we get cleave early. That's a clickable ability at level 3, the ability to click a guy where you only get normally one attack anyway, click a dude, and then get 2 hits in a combat round because you hit one guy and then you hit the other guy. That's all cleave does. Doesn't have to kill him. You just have to click this ability, click a target, hit that target, and then anyone else within reach that is a bad guy, you can swing at one more dude. That's why Great Cleave is better than Cleaving Finish, because Great Cleave, again, if we still click Cleave, yes, at level 5, we probably still only have one attack. But if we do Cleave, click a target, hit a dude, we'll swing at another guy thanks to Cleave, hit that dude, and keep hitting until we run out of new guys to hit. That means you can potentially, with a bigger reach, which we're really good at getting, large person is a spell you have access to very quickly. You could get yourself a nice reach and hit 3, 4, 5 guys by level 5 in one round. And that's why you like Great Cleave. And of course, Cleaving Finish is autopilot. It just works. You kill something, you swing at someone else. Same with Improved Cleaving Finish, where you just keep hitting and killing guys in a goddamn circle. That's why Cleave and Improved Cleaving Finish are just amazing. So again, you're going to have fun. So this is how far away I can reach this guy. This is how far away I have to go to get that dude. But notice that if I did that, I'm not trying to rest. Sorry, press the wrong button. I'm going to get attacks of opportunity. I mean, I don't care, because again, if I would have buffed up, I've been buffed like to the fucking 9s. But B, if I come and attack this guy, I might not be able to reach all these dudes. So if I come and hit this guy, he's square in the middle of all 4. So if I come and hit him, kill him, Improved Cleaving Finish should go off, and I should swing at every dude. Ready?
Strike as one.
Boom, die everybody. And that's why Improved Cleaving Finish is so nice. That guy was out of reach. So is this one, apparently. Yeah, all kinds of bugs nearby. Alright, now, and as a reminder of stuff, like your swift action ability, right?
Attack.
So I want just to see your attack bonus of 15, bonus to strength, because we have spells on us that are buffing our strength. We're doing really well for that. Luck bonus for divine power. That's not a strength bonus, that's a luck bonus. +6 is as high as it goes. We got a +2 thanks to weapon focus and greater weapon focus, and then a +2 more thanks to our weapon focus mythic. Remember, it doubles the upgrades. And again, those were free for going that battle mastery or mystery that we went in that one feat, the skillet arms or whatever the hell it was called. And again, nice upgrade for us. So a +4 to our swing, countering the power attack -4 to our swing. And remember, we also have power attack mythic and power attack on. What does that mean for the damage potential? Look at that big ass 36. Not to mention the fact that you're 2 size categories bigger, which is why you're at a 3d8 for your damage for this particular weapon. It's a lot of damage, with a minimum of 3, maximum of 24. Am I doing the math on that right? And again, if you add those 2 numbers together, divide by 2, that's the average. So 24 plus 3 is 27. The average then is just shy of what, 14? So 13.5 damage on average. Added on top of the 36. So on average, you're doing 49, let's just say, damage. And that's with a non-magical weapon. Make it a +5 weapon. So it's +5 to swing, +5 to the damage. And again, you're starting to crush some shit. Hitting hard, heavy, high numbers. And again, just to reiterate how many attacks you have in a round, got 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's because we have it buffed up with the sword. Remember, we shut our buffs off. You should have gone and done. Oops, it's already down here. This guy. Boom. And the reason you wanted to do that is because this is how you get any attacks. You get 1, 2, 3 at full strength now, and then the -5 and then -10. So 5 attacks in a round. And again, that won't stack with divine power. It's just whichever is the best case scenario. And this is the best case scenario. This one is the one that just makes you a god awful monster. And it would add even more damage to our damage potential. Show it to you on here because again, you got the holy buffs to your weapons and all the other shit besides that we've clicked on. So again, if we were to come over here and just like straight up murder
We
this
shall
thing,
overcome.
bam, just brutal damage. Look at that for that critical hit. 19. Rolled a 5, modifier was 27, still managed to hit him hard on that. Got divine powers on, attack bonus, strength bonus, which again, this is minimal strength for you right now. We don't have very much in the way of strength buffs on you. You know, legendary proportions not counting. You'd have a belt of strength on to make you even stronger, so that would number be even higher, probably 3 to 4 points higher minimum. So again, we could have a much better attack bonus. Haste, the equivalent of haste is on you because of I think the angel sword, the sword of heaven on us. Again, the target was flat-footed. That doesn't much matter. I mean, yeah, it made it easier to hit them. I'm just saying that we're not relying on that data target because again, a plus 27. Again, we got ways to buff that besides. On that, what other ways do we have to buff? I mean, I pointed to the spells, but it doesn't mean I gave you a total. Let's just start throwing out some numbers. What if you cast Bless? That's a morale bonus. That's a +1 to your swing. That's not up there. You could have that 27 up to a 28. Is there anything else that could have been a morale bonus? Yeah. I want to say Greater Heroism is a morale bonus, and that's a +4. So instead of the +1, remember they don't stack. So instead of going up to 28, they could have gone up to a 31. If you had Greater Heroism on you. We don't have Greater Heroism, brother. Yeah, but we have a spell that simulates it. Only for like 1 round per caster level, but so fucking what? I'll happily take that. What else do we have? We got a luck bonus. The +6 is about as high as it goes. That's pretty good. Anything else? Well, we have a sacred bonus to our strength that could have gone on us. That was the Eagle's Soul. That's a +4 to your strength, I want to say. That's a +2 to your swing as a result of your strength going up. We could cast a bull strength on ourselves. We don't have that right now. Like a belt of strength. So if we cast bull strength on ourselves, that goes up another 4 points. Again, that's another +2 to your swing and more damage. Remember, it's a two-handed weapon. So instead of +2 to your damage, because your strength went up 4 points, it would actually be +3. It's 50% more. So our damage output gets bigger and bigger the more strength we add to our character. A lot more. So again, some serious fun to be had here. Fully armored up. Could sword and board it. Doesn't have to, but you can. I still maintain that a reach and full plate armor is probably the way to go. Buff yourself up besides, and use your heals to tap off your team. And again, temp HP besides, man. There's some real fun to have here. You have damaging spells besides. Again, just to randomly roll through some shit here for like, instead of the buffs and relying on shit to like debuff the bad guys. What kind of damaging spells we have? Again, you got Bone Shaker, Bone Shatter. All your cure spells can damage undead. You got Arrow of Law. Remember that one is different damage depending on the type of bad guy you're shooting it at. Chaotic versus Chaotic Outsiders, a different amount of damage. What else do we have? We have spells like Searing Light, and again, different categories depending on if it's undead or a construct or just a general living target. There's a Grant Repose. This is like an auto kill for undead unless they make their save, and at that point it still does some lame damage, but it's still there. 2d6 plus, in our case, 15 because we're caster level 30. Just minor, but hey, it's fucking there, and again, it's worth it, especially if they fail that check. And notice it's a conjuration spell, so spell focus conjuration, greater spell focus conjuration, our buff to spell focus and greater spell focus conjuration from our mythic path, so that's a +4 to our DC check for this spell alone. What else do we have for damaging spells? We have Blade of the Sun, nice line damage of holy energy, whatever the hell that means. Holy damage, that's where it is right there. For 2 caster levels, doesn't say there's a cap. We're level 30, so that's 15d8 of damage. It's not teammate friendly based on what the picture says, so I'd be careful with it. What other stuff we got here? Repel the Profane. It's a shaking condition. And notice how this one, I didn't mention anything on it, but notice how this last sentence in there. This spell ignores immunity to fear. So if you have bad guys that are immune to fear and you're trying to set up that Corning and Smash Shatter Defenses upgrade, which we didn't go with, but you could have, this is a solid way of doing it. And again, it's from your Angel Spellbook, so it's not something that's going to get anytime soon, but it is there, something you can work around. What other stuff we got? No. Moving on. Oh, here we go. We got Flame Strike. Cleansing Flame actually does do damage to the enemies. Does damage to your team, too. Not a lot, but it is there. So be careful with it. But Flame Strike is an amazing spell. 2 different types of damage in that spell, no less. Here's your Bone Shatter. Again, auto hit spell. There's a little bit of damage with Vine Trap. It's more about debuffing the bad guy than anything else, but it does a nice way of just screwing them over. Breath of Life can actually be used as an attack because it does heal and therefore can be used to hurt undead. What else we got here? We got Bolt of Justice, and of course its big brother version, Storm of Justice, whatever the hell it's called. AoE versions of your heal spells, remember, for targeting undead. also can be used to heal your team at the same damn time. Hellfire Ray, some amazing damage there. Can crit with those spells, no less, because there's a to-hit check. Anytime you paralyze a target, whether it's Chains of Light, Hold Person, or anything else that paralyzes a target, remember you got this wonderful coup de grace ability. That's guaranteed crit. So it doesn't even have to be an evil character. You buffed up like crazy, walk over that bastard and click this. It takes you your full round action for you to do it, though. To be standing next to the guy when you're activating that shit. And then you will hit that motherfucker for full goddamn damage. Just a ridiculous amount of damage. What else we got? We got Wall of Light will damage undead, I want to say. Sunmark, we can use that to like damage people that are attacking you. Add damage to our attacks, no less. What else we got? Oh, nothing else in here, really. 8. Here's the Storm of Justice, the AoE version of Bolt of Justice. What else we got? We got Solar Change. They don't do a lot of damage, but they do damage. Rift of Ruin does a solid amount of damage on this spell. I mean, that's actually a pretty good spell, no less. Remember, your heal and your mass heal can be used to damage undead, and they capped out at 150 for one of them and 250 for the other. Mass heal can not only be used to damage undead in a big circle, but it can also heal your team at the same time because it doesn't differentiate. It just says, oh, you're a friend, heal them. Oh, you're an undead, damage them. And just boom, just a shit ton of damage to them and full top off for you and your team. And again, anything that bleeds over, they get is the temp HP. So again, an amazing spell to start off a fight with an undead. What else we got? Besides our pets that you can summon, we got our Polar Midnight, something I didn't originally have on the list. Doesn't do great damage, but it does damage every round. Cold damage, which of course you can be immune to, thanks to your greater angelic aspect. Remember, immune to acid, immune to cold. But better than that, it does dex damage to the target over time if they fail their check, which is really nice. What else we got? We got our Sun form, which allows us to shoot like laser beams, I think, out of our hands. An ability to shoot rays of holy fire. He has a swift action. Yeah, that's some fun to be had right there. I think that was it. Was Wrath of the Righteous, does it do damage? Yeah, Wrath of the Righteous does damage. Demon is dealt 10 damage per caster level. Jesus Christ, that's 30. Caster levels are 30, so that's 300 damage. And AoE, it says it's not teammate friendly, but that's bullshit because it says all demons. So if that's true, then it shouldn't hurt your team. But even if they make the save, this best part's 1d6 per caster level still. So again, we're 30. That's 30d6, and that's if they make the check. And it's a conjuration spell. And you have spell focus and greater spell focus conjuration. And you have mythic spell focus conjuration, which increased it 2 more points. So you have a +4 to the DC check on this. Pretty damn badass. And again, some serious fun to have here, not counting your pets for summons and all the spells and damage that they do. Not to mention the buff you got from your weapon from Sword of Heaven. Not to mention the fact that you have these pets down here that you can summon and do shit. Not to mention, of course, your Foresight ability, which means you're never flat-footed. And you get more armor. And you get better reflexes from that spell. And that's a 24-hour buff for you. I mean, it's just a lot of really good shit here, dude. Now, I know this video's been like fucking long. But someone wanted this build. Apologies for forgetting your name. I need to write this shit down more. Did I write it down? Maybe I did write it down. No, I didn't. I just wrote Angelkin. Sorry. This was specifically for someone that will be in the title, though, as your build. Please use this. Tell me how you changed it. For those of you that are interested. And again, you didn't have to go battle. Remember, I mentioned at the very, very beginning, Long Spears was a reach weapon, and it's a simple weapon, and you could use it. So you don't have to go battle mystery if you don't like it. But if you do that, know that you're not going to get the weapon focus, greater weapon focus, and the improved critical for your weapon for free. You're not going to get heavy armor proficiency for free and martial weapon proficiency for free. That's a lot of shit for free you didn't get. And all those other little upgrades we had, like Skill at Arms, that's the one we were talking about a moment ago. Weapon Mastery, again, the other one we were talking about. And, of course, Foresight. You're not going to get access to that. It's not to say that that's the best thing in the world, but there were some other choices. Like I said, you could have made an Oriad and then went Stone Life, or Life Stone, however you want to grab which one first and which one second. But that Stone one had access to a lot of free spells, like all of them do, and a lot of those free spells were acid spells. A solid choice. Still would maintain that the Conjuration build would make sense for that, because most of those acid spells, guess what, fall under Conjuration. And while they do have saving throws for some of them, and the Oriad gets a bonus to their either their damage to acid spells or their saving throws to acid spells, the DC check, I should say, to their acid spells, which I think they do. The other thing that you're going to get from that, again, is because of the spell focus, the saving throws are more likely to be failed. So full damage or whatever effect we're looking for, most likely it's just straight damage. The other part is that there's no spell resistance to many of those acid spells. Not all of them, but many of them. And it's a kind of nice way just to say, screw you bad guys that are, having spell resistance up to yin yang or spell immunity. It doesn't matter. We got no spell resistance. Should apply for, I think, magic immunity as well. And it's a solid character at that point. With that, though, that's all I got for you, buddy. Well, I'll do one more thing. Let's just do the ray attack on this son of a bitch. Just so you can see what it looks like. It looks baller. Get ready for battle. The infinite ray beam doom. Come on. Alright. Come up here. And again, just swing that bad guy. Bam! And again, you're going to feel like a ginormous monster running through the battlefield with all these different spells. Enlarged Person, Righteous Might, Legendary Proportions, Frightful Aspect. A lot of really good spells. Lots of ways to buff your strength. Not even counting the gear and shit that you can get. I don't doubt, with all the spells, Eagle Soul besides, that we could probably get your strength from that lame 18 is what it started as, by the way. And never went any higher without spells or gear. I could probably get your 18, see up 6 more to 24, 4 more, up to 28, belt of +8 to the 36, and I'm probably forgetting something. So let's just say up to like a 38 or 40. Is it the strongest build I've ever made? No. Is it a strong build? Hell yeah. And I think you'll enjoy it. But with that, my name is Brother Niemand. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think of this build. I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.